Right now. Right at this second. It is cold.
Whoops.
Talking about it like it was in the past. God, Justin. God.
Whoops. Whoops.
There it is.
Whoops.
There it is.
Right at this second, it is cold.
Talking about it like it was in the past. God, Justin. God.
Whoops.
Yep, I hear it.
There it is.
That way. Okay.
Talking about it like it was in the past. God, Justin.
Gosh darn it.
Oh, yeah. Can I get a...
Oh yeah. Yeah, we got none of that. Thankfully. Thankfully, only I had to hear that.
Oh, yeah. Can I get a... Oh.
Yeah,
They got part of it.
they got like none of it.
They got the first portion of it.
Thankfully, only I had to hear that.
That's not true. You can kind of hear me through your mic.
That is true. That is true.
I'm ready whenever, by the way.
Getting the link, posting it in the thingy.
Get in the water.
Link.
Get in the water.
Moving it.
Or I'll raise the tide so high, all of Ithaca will die. Get in the water.
And then we gotta open up that. Okay.
Lloyd. Here goes everything.
Oh, my chair's not. It's not. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. And wait.
This episode is brought to you by the Arte Media Pantheon.
I didn't take my medicine.
You know, you got to go check them out, and they can help you make podcasts. And there's a bunch of different ones, and we're there, and
we're there, and you were there, and you were there,
and you were there, and you were there, but you weren't there. You were not there.
Mm-mm. No, you were not. You were not there. Okay.
You were not there.
Mm-mm. No, you were not. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. This podcast is brought to you by the Arte Media Pantheon. Please head to artemedia.org to see all kinds of podcasts from our great friends. And if you would like to start your own podcast, they can provide you with the tools and resources to do so there. So please head to artemedia.org. That's ARETE media.org. Shall we do this, Jordan?
We're already doing this, man.
Shall we once again do another, actually with sound this week, you know, Spur of the Moment podcast?
Yes. Now with sound. Now with 50% more sound.
And on the correct day.
This is true. This is true.
I have not posted.
We made do last week. We got through it.
We did.
You know, we did another one.
I realized I haven't posted the audio of last week yet. Oopsies. Anyway.
Well, that means that today they'll get 2 for the price of 1.
Welcome to the Spur of the Moment podcast. I'm your host. I'm Justin Spurr, and I am joined by always he who is His Highness, His Majesty. He's doing a Queen wave. It's the incomparable Jordan, everybody. And on today's show,
hello.
He just did a Dorothy.
Hello.
That was Dorothy. On today's show, Jordan, Kathleen Kennedy, who is replacing Kathleen Kennedy, and the internet is being weird about it. You'd think they'd be happy, but they're not. Spider-Man news, Minecraft movie news, Lara Croft, what does she look like? Henry Cavill, Warhammer, who's the God of War? the new Hotel Transylvania movie, and other stuff. And then later, we're talking about actors and actresses and all sorts of people who they were in a Marvel thing once. That's it. That's the prerequisite. Sorry, I feel like I got something in my face. But first, Jordan, we ask the question. We ponder the question.
What if?
What if and why not? And we ponder the question, Jordan.
And who for? And who he who he?
Is
What a big
replacing
bang.
Kathleen Kennedy as the big time boss for Star Wars?
Dave Filoni?
Ooh, half points, Jordan. You don't know the other guy. It's Dave Filoni, and Lewin Brennan will serve alongside him as co-president of the studio. And I suspect that based on the fact that it's two guys, that they will share a similar relationship to James Gunn and Peter Safran, where Dave Filoni will do all the fun, creative stuff, and this other guy will do all the boring business stuff.
See, I thought you were gonna say, they will rule over the Star Wars franchise like Darth Vader and Lord Sidious, where one will ultimately be in control and the other one gets blamed for everything.
I mean, likely, yeah, likely. Jordan, do you like thing you recognize? George,
Sometimes.
Do you like just a barrage of thing you recognize without an ounce of new thing? But it's a thing you recognize? And or do you like the new thing to be super interconnected to thing you recognize and impossible to extricate from without bullshit?
This feels like a specific thing that you're calling to, so I'm gonna immediately agree.
Jordan,
Yes.
it's just the entirety of the Dave Filoni Star Wars oeuvre. It's what he does.
Oeuvre?
It's his entire career. It's just thing you recognize.
Is that a bad thing?
Too much of it, yeah. Because I'm like, why are people so disinterested in this Mandalorian? Because like that's where I'm like the internet has taken a weird turn on this. The internet is like mad about it. Like they've taken a weird turn on Dave Filoni. Like they're just mad at Dave Filoni now because he's the flavor of the week, I guess.
I mean, the thing is Justin, and this is a constantly proved thing. People love rooting for the quote unquote little guy until the little guy becomes the big guy, and then they hate the big guy and they go back to liking the little guy.
Like for years, the GOAT. It's really weird because like the internet is going for Red Letter Media and Mr. Plinkett, which is really bizarre because like the Mr. Plinkett Star Wars review is like the review. He's like. That's the one everyone cites when they want to be like Star Wars Episode 1 is a bad movie. So it's just weird to see like or Gen Z be like, nah, those guys were wrong and they suck. And it's just so weird that like, yeah.
And the circle is now complete.
Allegedly,
they are now the master.
Yeah, pretty much. Allegedly, I heard this wasn't true, but I saw a rumor that Dave Filoni doesn't like Andor. But then
good.
I saw a rumor that he said that. But then I saw that wasn't true. But then I saw an article with him saying that. But the article quoted him as saying because it does not contain enough things I recognize. So I think it was a joke. He won't like it because it does not contain enough things he doesn't recognize.
So, the things he recognizes, you mean?
There's not enough things he recognizes on that show.
So here's what I'm gonna say. Ultimately, Star Wars fans will never be happy because they are whiny man children.
This is true. They are nothing but whiny man children.
Like there will never be anything. There will always be something they will be complaining about because they are never happy. They don't know what they want.
Nope, they do not know what they want. Jordan. So it's really funny. This is what's funny about doing stories a week at a time. Is like there's a roller coaster. So Jordan, there was big news in the DCU Batman movie front, as there was an exciting report that said that they had found their release window, and that it was on track for 2028 release, and they were gonna start filming it soon. And then James Gunn, being James Gunn and being James Gunn on the internet, came out and said, "I never said that." He said, "We don't even have a screenplay. It's fiction. Screenplay isn't even finished yet. They're not secretly screen testing for Batman."
Okay.
Frustrating.
Um, that's a thing, I guess.
Frustrating.
Frustrating because he came out and debunked it, or frustrating because they were making things up?
Frustrating because it's just James Gunn entire existence is, hey man, just instead of constantly talking back and forth with people on the internet, just make the Batman thing. Like
Yes.
it's an annoying. It's just
That was
annoying.
Justin. Justin, that was a toilet tweet, I assume.
I assume you're right. I assume it is a toilet tweet. Huh. All right then. Wow. Okay. This just goes to show how I have not read comics in a very long time. So there is a new Spider-Man comic coming out called Spider-Man Venom Death Spiral. It's going to begin with an event with Amazing Spider-Man / Venom Death Spiral one shot. It says in Death Spiral, Peter Parker / Spider-Man, Mary Jane / all new Venom, and Eddie Brock / Carnage. So I guess Eddie Brock is Carnage now? Will be targeted by a superpower serial killer named Torment.
I know that for a while, um, I don't know if it's still the case, but I know for a while Mary Jane was Venom.
Oh, interesting. So yeah, this apparently this will serve
Um,
as the finale to Death Spiral. The cover reveals that Spider-Man and Carnage, a notoriously evil character with a long history with Peter, are about to bond and become the Amazing Spider Carnage.
okay. I mean, that sounds cool, I
All right
guess.
then. Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with Eddie because for a while there he was the symbiote king.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so I guess Eddie Brock is the bad guy in this storyline. Mary Jane is Venom. I don't even know. I don't. Comics are weird, man.
Yeah, I just know that I saw there was on TikTok and Reddit. I saw there was one where yeah, Mary Jane had been dating this guy who wasn't Peter, and she had the Venom symbiote. And there's a shot in the panel where the Venom is sitting beside Mary Jane, and they're like connected by like a finger. So like
Oh, interesting.
they are they are together. It's just yeah,
Huh.
she's Venom.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, interesting. I mean,
But I don't know how recent that is, but
in the one show she was Carnage, so it would make sense. It makes sense that was a thing. I mean, literally everyone has been with Venom at some point. That
yeah,
Venom
he's
is a
kind of
slut.
Venom. Yeah, I was gonna say Venom is a cheap
He's a
whore.
slut. So Jordan, apparently Amazon is making a Tomb Raider show. Amazon Prime Video.
Yeah, I seem to remember hearing it was Sophie Turner that
It's
she,
Sophie Turner, and boy howdy does the costume look like Laura Croft. Laura Croft has the unfortunate. Well, there's no cool way to talk about this, so we're not gonna. But I'm gonna do the cool way to do it as best I can. That made sense, and just say that people on the internet make any discussion about her uncomfortable because she is very famously known for one defining quality.
her triangle boobs.
Sure, yes, the triangle boobs, and she doesn't. The internet's big mad that she does not have nearly enough triangle boobs, Jordan.
I mean, the thing is that she appears to be more based off of the PlayStation 3, like the remake version of her, who does not look like the one from the original one. She looks much more
The costume looks
proportionate.
a lot like the original. I don't have enough.
I don't care.
It's a weird thing to care about, but it's a thing that weird guys on the internet get mad about every once in a while when a new when a new
Tomb Raider
Tomb
thing.
Raider thing comes out, they always make it weird for some guys. The costume looks fine. She looks fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. She's sufficiently British and charming. I'm sure it's going to be all right.
I mean, yeah, as long as she is not going with the redhead look and she has brown hair, because
In the
to
picture,
me
she's
that's
got red
kind of
hair, but who knows?
to me that's like the one defining characteristic, really.
She's a brunette.
So
That's the whole thing. But otherwise, like whatever. Then
I, you
again,
know,
maybe there's gonna be Tomb Raider fans out there that are like with female Tomb Raider fans, female Tomb Raider fans who are
who
like, no,
care?
who care, who are like, no, dog, she needs to be stacked. I don't imagine they exist. I can't imagine they exist, but who knows?
They might exist.
We won't rule that out. They might exist. Jordan, Jason Momoa confirmed a
Yeah, I'm
release.
just not a big enough Tomb Raider fan in general to care.
Jason Momoa confirmed that we have a summer 2027 window for Minecraft Movie 2, which apparently he is currently filming.
Okay, I'm trying to remember how that ends.
I assume
For there to be a sequel, I think he stays with Jack Black in Minecraft world.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. They come to the real world and now there's new kids. That's what I'm guessing.
I sure okay. I didn't really think the first one was good enough to warrant there being a sequel, but sure, whatever. I mean, there was always going to be one.
It's Meme the Movie. They've got to make Meme the Movie too, Jordan. They gotta. It's the first time they made a meme into a movie, and it worked. But Jordan, also, I want to see in the next one, what I want out of a sequel is I want Jack Black to ride Jason. No, wait. I want Jason Momoa to ride Jack Black as though he were a majestic beast.
That's
what I
yeah,
want.
I don't know. I'm like, okay, so I guess for the sequel, because I don't think they went to the Nether or the End. So I guess maybe they go to the Nether and the End in that one or something, and we see the Ender Dragon. I'm trying to think, what do you do in a sequel that they didn't already do in the first one?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about.
I suppose there's like other biomes and stuff that you could show off. There's villager. I don't know. I'm
more villagers.
Okay, sure.
More villagers. So, John, the question for John Barenthal, who is the Punisher, who is in the next Spider-Man movie, he was asked whether the Punisher in a PG-13 setting would feel different, and he tried to be like, no, he won't feel different, and I would be like, no, probably not, because those MCU shows are not super bloody, so it wouldn't take much to clean up that character.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember him
being.
And
there won't be blood this time. It's what's gonna happen.
Or you like, yeah, like I don't the show that he came from wasn't that over the top.
No, it's not. I don't think the Netflix Daredevil show is that bloody.
Like, it's not like I don't even think it's as close. And even if it was, I mean, then he put him at the same violence level as Deadpool. There are ways to make that PG appropriate.
Yeah, no, I think he'll be fun. But yeah, he says that it was important to him that because they did I guess they shot the because there's a Punisher TV special that's going to connect to the Spider-Man movie that comes out first, I think, but they filmed it afterwards. So he was like, yeah, it was important that the Punisher that stepped off of the Spider-Man one and onto the Punisher thing was the same character. And I was like, I respect the level of commitment to that character. And the fact that character's come back for a mainline Spider-Man thing is cool.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be fun, I think, either way.
Cool. So, Jordan, you know Henry Cavill, right?
I am aware of him, yes.
Do you know what the big thing that Henry Cavill is really into?
Dungeons and Dragons.
You know the other thing that he's really into?
Warhammer?
Absolutely. He's into Warhammer 40,000.
Okay. That was a shot in the dark, but I felt fairly confident.
He's really into Warhammer. That's why when he stopped being Superman, everyone's like, leave him alone. He wants to go do Warhammer movies, and he still hasn't made one yet. But apparently they've officially greenlit it, and it's coming. And I feel like he's the guy who could make me care about that franchise.
So, what's funny is there was a period there where one of my friends, he might still be really into it, but he was really into it, and he had a bunch of the games, and he let me use his Steam, so I played a bunch of the games. So I have a passing knowledge of it, but like not enough that I care.
Yeah, fair enough.
But like, it's a thing where like I'm aware of it. So like I know you have like the Chaos Marines, you have the Marines, you have the Orcs, you have the like I know
that
enough
Blizzard
about
stole
it.
a shit ton from it, and they ripped them off for their game and then beat them. Initially the company that makes Warhammer went to them to make a Warhammer game, and then Blizzard stole all of it and made a Warcraft game instead, and put Warhammer like decades behind making a decent MMO. And by the time they got to it, Blizzard had dominated the space for years. Allegedly.
I can't speak to that, but it sounds accurate.
Allegedly. Jordan, they revealed. I meant to send this the picture of this guy, but they revealed who is going to play Kratos in the new Dad of War show, because it's going to be Dad of War, which is...
Yeah, I saw something about that, and I didn't recognize the name.
I didn't recognize the name either, but the guy sure howdy looks like Kratos.
He looked like him.
Paint
from
that
what I
man in
saw.
white. I mean, if we must do Dad of War, I don't... It's another one of those ones where, like, I get doing the original, where you take it and you expand upon it, because there really isn't much story there, and that game is really more about tearing people apart. But the story is the whole point of
those ones.
Of those
yeah.
games. So what's the... But then again, the Last of Us show is really good, so, like, what do I know?
Yeah, there's that, and for me, I kind of see the point when it comes to, like, if you were doing a reimagining of those games, because those games are hard. So, like, there are maybe people who don't like playing that kind of game who want to enjoy the story.
Same thing
right?
with The Last of Us as well. Last of Us is that those games are hard and frustrating, and yeah, maybe you want to go through the story and not have to play the... Yeah, I get the point.
Another example of what I'm talking about is the Star Wars ones with Cal Kestis.
Yeah.
Where it's like, those are hard, and in particular, there was, I think the first one, there's a point where I was stuck at. I couldn't get past it, so I never got to beat the game.
That's why I played that game on easy, and even then I got lost at a point and I got stuck too.
So it's like I absolutely see taking those stories and readapting them. I can understand that.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes it's just interesting to see, like, if they change certain things, there's ways to make it interesting.
I'm not. I just my main criticism of that game is just not God of War. It's what I stand by. I stand by that that's not God of War. That was a Thor game that got a God of War skin slapped on it like midway through its development cycle.
Well, I don't disagree with that assessment. What I will say is, from a character progression standpoint, where he is in those games makes sense.
Like, they had the mechanic of throwing, what was definitely throwing.
Oh, I absolutely see I absolutely see what you're saying, and I don't disagree. But I'm saying from a story standpoint,
Marvel, in fact, took that mechanic and used it in their Avengers game, which this is just like the Kratos. Yeah, God damn it, if catching that axe isn't satisfying every time, though. Like,
especially when you're like on the world tree and you toss it off the side, you see it falling down, and then you call it back, and it's like, fuck yeah!
When he catches, like, bonk every time. The sound design is just good.
You feel the weight of it.
Sorry. So what we were talking about, I was just reading. There's this article that's Vision Quest gets an update, exciting update. And I'm reading through this thing to see what the
update is.
What the article, yeah, what the update is, and it's just not. He says, okay, it's a lot of saying nothing. So it's like, Vision Quest is so rewarding for the fans of the WandaVision trilogy, but also for fans of the MCU, especially the Infinity Saga. What's amazing about is you talk to someone who grew up at Marvel, the guy knows the lore. It's like he's not really saying anything. Like, okay. He says, Vision Quest is really about fathers and sons, and specifically about 3 generations of grandfather, father, son. Can a man who had an abusive father be a good father himself? Is he talking about Tony Stark?
Or is he talking about Vision?
That really didn't tell me anything. It really didn't tell me anything new. So
okay.
The article says, some new plot details. I don't really see what plot details that revealed. The father-son story? What? Father-son grandfather story? Oh, alright. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. So I saw this article and I pulled this article on it because I was confused. I wasn't sure what this was. It was Superman and Spider-Man get epic crossover. First details and release date emerged. And I guess recently they did a Deadpool Batman crossover, which I completely forgot
Yes,
about.
yes they did.
So this is the follow-up. This is Spider-Man Superman.
That's awesome.
I know. I don't know that they've ever done a. I mean, I know that there's a character called
Spider-Man and Superman, no. Spider-Man and Batman
But
have.
this run, it did you know it brought back the Amalgam universe?
Oh, did it actually?
Yeah,
That's cool.
at one point, Dark Spectre walks out of a portal.
Interesting.
Yeah. Not Dark Spectre. Dark Claw, the one that's
Dark
the
Claw,
Dark Claw.
Wolverine, Batman.
Yeah, that one. That one walks through a portal. As
That's
Dark Claw.
awesome.
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah, I have.
sick.
I think I have the first 5 editions of that run
That's awesome. I love that run. But yeah, I don't know that
somewhere around
Superman,
here.
Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man has done issues where he's fought guys that are like basically Superman. There was one where he was
Yeah,
basically Superman, and then he turned out to be a Skrull. And then there's another one. He's a bad guy in one of the Avengers shows, but his name's Hyperion.
there might be one where like there might be one of the what ifs or one of the not what ifs, one of the crossover ones where they did. There's actually been more than most people think.
Yeah,
Um, so it's possible, but one of the ones that I remember that we read was it was Fantastic Four Superman crossover where Superman becomes Galactus's
the
herald.
Herald of Galactus, and then that also had that was Batman and Spider-Man. And I
Yeah,
love that one because Spider-Man, you expect Spider-Man to call Batman Batsy, and like as a kid, it was like, and he does, but it was like obviously the writer knew that it was a joke that Spider-Man had to do. Spider-Man had to call him Batsy. It was like it was like a rule. Like, it had to.
it was right there.
It
It
was
had to be
right
done.
there. Who cares if it was obvious? Um,
No, I love those. And so what makes me excited about this run and like the
they
when
should do an
we've talked about it
animated
before.
movie.
Yes, like when we talked about the Batman Deadpool one, I was hoping that it would lead to more
Like
and
no,
that there could be more collaboration because yeah, it would be awesome to see them do a take on an animated version of the storyline, which was the amalgam
like
one,
I
where it's
get
like
that.
it leads to that or whatever.
I get not wanting to do it in the live action realm, but do it anim. But to be fair, DC's always been weird about multiple versions of character. But yeah, play around in that DC. Like Marvel hasn't done hasn't done an animated movie since those Ultimate Avengers movies really. So like yeah, do a crossover movie. Do an
Now that
animated. Just go
being
straight to
said,
DVD.
Now that being said, what my secret hope is, my desire deep down within, and part of me will pine for this, even though I know it will never happen, is I want the studio who did Injustice, I want them to do Injustice 3, and Injustice 3 is Superman invading other universes, and the universe he invades is the MC, like the
That would
not the
also be fun.
MCU, but the Marvel
They
one, and
were
then
at
you can
one
have it.
point.
You can have it be a Marvel versus DC fighting game.
They were that would be sick. They were at one
Like that would
point.
be so cool and it would make so
Um,
much money. Like come on.
it would print money. Yeah, there was a point. Well, I mean, Mortal Kombat 1 allegedly was gonna be Injustice 3, and then
And like you could
it
even
became
have it
Mortal
be where
Kombat 1.
like you could even have it be like where like one of the alternate skin costumes is like for Marvel side is the MCU version of the characters and on the DC side is whatever the new
That'd be sick.
Snyder DC version like is and like they make references to the movie
That'd be
universes.
sick. That'd be
Like, oh my
sick.
God, come on, this shit prints money. Come on,
That'd be
DC, Marvel,
sick.
come
Yeah.
together.
NetherRealm was working on a Marvel fighting game at one point, or are working on it. It's their next one. But yeah, apparently I saw a video that yeah, Mortal Kombat 1 was at one point going to be at one point going to be Injustice 3, and you can tell because certain characters like there's one character where he's just Damian Wayne. There's one character where he's Raiden. The Raiden plays exactly like Shazam or Black Adam or whatever. I'll send it to you. It was really cool.
Oh, I
Video. It was
mean,
like they
I
had
mean,
the
there's
build for this
also
character and they just put the skin of the Mortal Kombat one on top of it.
Yeah, that to me also reads with like how Omni-Man clearly could have been a Superman.
Exactly.
Homelander could have been like a Supergirl or like a different, you know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
or whatever. Like it's just
Yeah, they clearly had the
absolutely.
build for Superman. That's why Homelander and Omni Man went in. Yeah, absolutely. You're not wrong. Um,
And Scream, Ghostface kind of plays like Joker.
kind of. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Oh shoot, I forgot to include a Scream 7 trailer. Hopefully, there wasn't anything worth talking about in that Scream 7 trailer. Whoopsies. That's what happens when news stories break on Sundays.
I mean, you could
Apparently,
you could bring it up and play it on the thing now. We could do it
I
live.
don't want to do that. Keegan Michael Key revealed apparently that they were going to start work on Hotel Transylvania 5, which led to a comment on, I think it was Threads, uh, um, which was
Are we gonna pretend that Adam Sandler is coming back for this one too, or
that's
are
what
we
that's
gonna
what I, that's
actually?
basically what the comment was are we gonna talk about are they gonna actually bring Adam Sandler back, and are we gonna talk about the time that he just dipped out and they replaced him with some YouTuber? And then the comments were like, "Hey, they always get so defensive on Brian Hull's defense. Like, well, I'm a fan of Brian Hull. Yeah, but there's a difference between doing an impressionist, being What happened with him in that movie is embarrassing. Not for him. I'm
No,
never
no,
felt
no,
that
no, no.
this reflects poorly on
That's where I
him.
think it's important to say it's embarrassing for him.
For
It's not
him.
embarrassing because of him.
Because of him. It's embarrassing to Adam Sandler, and it's embarrassing to Amazon, and it's embarrassing to Sony, who made that movie, that they tried to pretend that he was Adam Sandler. And he did.
He did his best.
It's
Like he didn't do a
sad.
terrible job.
It's sad that, well, no, they tried to hide the fact
I
in their
know.
marketing
But I'm
that
saying it's not because of him that it's
I
sad.
think
It's
it's
sad.
because,
I think it's sad because the corporation was so greedy that
yeah,
they wanted to try and hide it.
hide the fact that, yeah, and it was
But
really apparent
that's
that
not his fault.
it became apparent when it was just Andy Samberg and Selena Gomez doing the promo. But it was like, yeah, no, they desperately, all of the marketing and all of the trailers, like they've been trying to pretend that Adam Sandler has been Drax since that one short, and they thought they could sneakily get him in. And like, yeah, he didn't like, you wouldn't know because they don't want you to know. And that's a shame. That's a shame because he's so proud of playing that character, and nobody
Yeah.
knows that he did for that one movie. And yeah, I imagine they'll probably have found the correct amount of money to get Adam Sandler to come back, and it's gonna be like a return, like a Aladdin and the King of Thieves, where they make you know that Adam Sandler's back, and now returning with Adam Sandler. Like, I guarantee you they will have fun because he's hot right now. Like, there's no way that they wouldn't. They wouldn't.
Oh, they would
He's
absolutely
been in a
take
bunch
advantage of it.
award winners and whatnot, and he's done a bunch of good animated shit. So there's no way they're not gonna spend the money. I just don't. I try. There's no.
I just what do you do for a fifth one?
I mean, the same thing you did with the fourth one. Nothing. That fourth one is such
I
a
don't what
nothing
do
of
they
a
do in the
movie.
fourth one again? Like they're on vacation?
No, that's the
No,
third
that's
one.
the third
The
one.
fourth one
What's the
is
fourth one?
the fourth one is they
I
John
know
gets,
I've watched it.
Johnny gets turned into a monster and Drac gets turned into a human, and despite
Oh, right.
having already gone through this character arc twice already, it hates the fact that Johnny is going to take over the hotel and can't accept Johnny as his son-in-law, despite the fact that we've done this twice already.
Yeah, so what are we gonna do for a fifth one? Are we gonna have like Drac retires
I'm guessing
and Mavis and
that would be
Ma-
the only thing. I would do Drac
Mavis
retires.
and Johnny take over and then he can't let go or something and he has to like
Jack retires. It's his retirement party, and
it just seems like to me
we
the only reason you do a fifth one is so that you can get rid of the Drac character so you never have to have Adam Sandler come back
pretty
again.
much you have yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely. It's Drac retires, and I forget the
He
kid's
goes
name.
off to live with the Monster Hunter
But
chick.
kids movies never do this because they always want to have it freeze in time. But I would age the kid up to a teenager.
Yeah.
And he has to work for the dad,
Or at
like
least a preteen or something.
no teenager, because I would do like he has to work for the hotel as a summer job,
Yeah, well, that's
and
where I say like 13, 14.
oh, for me, I'm like your first job is 16, 16.
Not if it's a family business.
No, but like I'm thinking
He's
like
been working. He's
England.
been working at that hotel since he was like 6 at least.
Yeah, no, see, I'm thinking he's like a spoiled hotel magnate, and he has to like go work with Drac for a summer, and Drac has to make him like the hotel, and that's the point of conflict. Because otherwise, you're right. He can't have a point of and then him and John, or maybe Johnny makes him like he has a conflict with Johnny. Because to me, you have to do like or at least for if you're right, what do you do for a fifth one? The only thing that's interesting to me is him and Johnny. We don't do the him and Johnny have a conflict thing for the upcoming time, but him and Johnny now have to team up. And Johnny and I wish I could remember the kid's name. Johnny and the kid have a conflict.
Nikovic.
Mikovic.
Nikovic? Nick something. Nicole? Hold on. I'm gonna look it up.
But yeah, you do Andy Samberg, Johnny and the kid have a conflict, and Drac tells Johnny that he's a good dad. Movie, like that's what you do. Like to me, that's the only interesting thing to do for a Hotel Transylvania 4. But also, Hotel Transylvania 4 is in that like, what's the word I'm looking for? Ice Age genre of kids movie where you're like they're gonna do 100 of these and they all suck.
Yeah,
By like
I mean that's the real thing.
What are you doing?
That's the real thing is that it just we don't need it. We don't need another one. Like this thing, really 3 was probably too many.
So final.
I need to know what the grandkid's name is. It's gonna drive me crazy.
He says it all weird in Transylvanian, but it's like a normal kid's name.
Yeah, that's where I say he calls him
Dennis. Dennis. It's Dennis.
Yes, that was it. Because he calls him. I didn't remember. It was like something Ovich.
Yeah,
Denisovich.
Denisovich. He calls
that
Denisovich.
Was it. Dennis.
Oh, that's funny.
That was going to drive me crazy.
Hold on. Is this worth talking about?
I don't know. Is it?
Oh, it's okay. It's a really shitty looking resource. Sorry, there's a trailer for a Star Trek video game, and I'm like, is this worth talking about? Nope, it's a shitty resource management game. I forgot to send the trailer. Yeah, apparently, fans have demanded Jordan. Really? Oh, okay. Okay. I was cynical. Now I'm interested.
You're saying a lot of things, but you're not telling us anything.
Allegedly, the writers of and creators of K-pop Demon Hunters pitched and wrote a standalone Lord Farquaad movie for DreamWorks. It was unmade, and fans have demanded it, and there's nothing known about it.
Like, it's a prequel, or
I would presume, considering he dies,
because he's presumably been digested at this point, so I don't know really where you go.
Currently, canonically, he's a ghost in that universe.
I mean, that would be kind of fun if you had a ghost movie where he's haunting people.
I don't know. I'm okay with a prequel. I'm down for a prequel. A funny
like
prequel.
Okay, so like, what are we gonna get him as a? Are we gonna do the Shrek the musical treatment where we see him and his daddy was grumpy and his and all that? Like, are we gonna get that?
I mean, maybe.
But like, in the style of a la Puss in Boots, like, what are we doing here?
I did see a rumor. Speaking of Puss in Boots, I keep fluctuating. Now everyone keeps joking and saying when that teaser for Shrek came out, they rewrote the whole movie. I maintain that's not true. I don't think they knew what the movie was at that point. But I think because I saw, now they have announced a Puss in Boots, a second Puss in Boots movie is coming. That's a sequel to The Last Witch. But they showed the guy who plays Perdito, the dog. He had a picture on Instagram of him recording for something as that character. Not indicating what, though. And I saw some people be like, well, the next thing to come out is Shrek 5, so maybe that means that character will be in Shrek 5, which fingers crossed. But it also could be he's recording for Puss in Boots 2.
So
Animation does take a long time. So
this is my hope. This is my hope is that the Puss in Boots movie leads directly into Shrek, into whatever is happening in
Puss in
Shrek.
Boots is coming out afterwards.
No, I'm saying the first Puss in Boots movie.
Oh, I see.
You know how he ends at the Kingdom of Far, Far Away?
Sorry.
I'm saying, I'm hoping that leads into Shrek,
That would be
whatever happens in the Shrek movie.
That's what I'm hoping.
And then the Shrek movie happens, and we have the Puss in Boots characters are there as well. So we have Bendito, we have Girl, Cat, Puss in Boots.
Softpaws.
And we have Puss in Boots.
Yeah.
And then the events of Shrek happen, and then that leads into Puss in Boots too. That's what I want.
We've had this idea before, and we think, I still agree with this, that Shrek should be a supporting character in Puss in Boots too, which I think might happen. I think they're gonna try to resurgence Shrek in a new art style, in that Puss in Boots art style. But yeah, I think that would be fun. Have him be just Shrek though. I don't think we need a Shrek Donkey combo, but I would accept Donkey. But I
would accept Donkey, but ideally just Shrek.
I don't have to pay for Mike Myers, you know.
But what I kind of think is more likely, I suspect that it wouldn't be Shrek that goes along. It would be one of his 3 kids.
Probably, and then Shrek is just a cameo.
And then Shrek is like in the beginning of the Puss in Boots movie as they go off on further adventures, and like maybe his son or the daughter, whoever's the cheapest, will go along with them. That's my real world cynical
I don't know.
guess.
I don't know.
Because
it's interesting that they did announce them so quick after each other. It does tell me that there is a chance that they might be connected, because there was an expressed desire somewhere from someone that they want to make at least Shrek 6. I don't know about Shrek 7, but at least Shrek 6. So who knows? I'm not gonna lie. I am unironically excited for every single one of those. So,
I mean, I'm not gonna say that there's not a part of me that's like, you know what,
irony.
I'm down.
They could be the worst movies ever, and one of those Puss in Boots movies is, and I still love it.
The one with the egg.
The one with the egg is bad because nobody remembers it exists.
I remember it exists.
You know what happens to eggs in prison, don't you? Let me tell you.
They get scrambled.
It's not over easy. Ooh. Finally, Jordan, did you see the final Doomsday trailer?
I don't think so.
I
saw ones on TikTok which I just didn't think were real because characters that couldn't be there were there.
Which example?
There was. I mean, there's the obvious ones where like SpongeBob and Patrick.
I mean, yeah, okay.
But like, yeah, I don't. There was one where it was Yeah, it's just they were talking to Doctor Doom.
Oh, okay.
And then
anytime they're talking to Doctor Doom, it's automatically fake.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I don't think we've seen them talking.
That's AI. I hate.
Yeah.
The one that actually came out.
So yeah, it was just real. Things like that.
And I guess it just goes to show how much I paid attention to the end of the last Black Panther. But I guess the character.
Oh yeah, that one. Right.
Baku he's now king of Wakanda, but
she is Black Panther.
But she's not queen. He is king. I guess I missed that detail for Black Panther too. I guess I've only seen it once and I clearly didn't pay attention. But yeah, it's them meeting the Thing, and that went also kind of okay. Yeah, see this is where these movies succeed. Like where it's like, yeah, okay, these are characters who haven't interacted yet. It's a character who hasn't participated in the universe yet, and they're having a little back and forth. That's fun. That looks fun.
The thing that makes me confused though is I don't remember which one of them it was, but someone had said how these trailers weren't trailers and they're all telling a story and they're
something about how the Russo brothers said like they're all connected and they're all telling a story and they might not necessarily be real. I think that they're probably I think there's scenes from the movie. Like I think that like, yeah, I think they're gonna be misleading. I stand by that. That maybe that's not good Captain America, but who knows?
The Russo brothers.
The Russo brothers knows, and we will on your birthday next year.
Is it on my birthday?
It does come out on your birthday, yeah.
Dang! Good birthday present for Jordan.
Yeah. So we're gonna.
That's hot.
Probably gonna watch that for your birthday.
Hell yeah, we will.
Probably. Jordan, that is the news. But today's episode is brought to you as always, and will continue to be until they tell us to tell people to stop supporting them. Go on down and support Wild Education for us. The link to their Facebook and all their fun activities and where they will be and what they're doing, as well as their Indiegogo to help them find a new place, because finding a new place is expensive. Life is difficult for people taking care of small animals. Won't someone think of the animals?
Won't someone think of the goddamn motherfucking animals?
Think about those animals.
Think about them. You think about them when you're not giving away all your hard-earned dollars.
You think about those animals. And also, this past Thursday, I was on Down the Middle talking about John Cena. So I would link to that in the description. Jake is still.
I don't know how you guys were talking about that when you can't see this.
Can't see him.
Yeah, it must have just been an empty ring with one person standing in there, getting tossed around as if by an invisible person, because you can't see this.
Can't see this. So that link to all those things and more is in the description. On today's second half of the second half, within the second half, contained within a dollop of a thing. Jordan, it's I was in a Marvel thing once.
I was in a Marvel thing once.
And I'm thinking.
But it's important to say that the people that were in a Marvel thing once are not necessarily starring in these movies.
No, there has to be.
They just are in it.
They and it's not necessarily MCU. I'm thinking I'm gonna go first, yeah, and then we'll end up because we're ending on the same thing, and then that way
I don't care. You go ahead. You do what you're gonna do. Things will work out as they should.
So everyone, the one rule is at least one of your actors has to have been in a Marvel thing. But I'm instituting a second rule. You get bonus points for any additional Marvel person in your movie. So if there's more than one.
All right.
And
I'm gonna get a couple bonus points then.
And maybe I'll throw in a bonus points for Star Wars as well. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling generous, and you have to say the Marvel thing they're from. That's the other rule. So Jordan, obviously, when selecting movies for this week, when it came to picking Marvel heroes, you wanted to get all the big ones. You wanted to get Chris Evans. You wanted to get Robert Downey Jr. You wanted to get Chris Hemsworth. But it was also important to me that I get playing Zeus in Thor: Love and Thunder, Russell Crowe himself. And it was important to me, Jordan, that I didn't want to be connected to a superhero thing. I wanted to get as far away from superheroes as I possibly could. So for my first entry today, we're going to be talking about 2025's
24 hours to go.
This is Nuremberg. Jordan, do you know what Nuremberg is? Do I have to explain Nuremberg to you?
I've never heard of that term. I've never heard of those collection of letters put together in that way to make that word that you just said.
For you and the people at home, Jordan, Jordan, put on your history hat.
I don't have a hat.
But Jordan, it's a history hat. No, Jordan, it's not a literal hat. It's not. No, you don't have to always put on a literal hat. It's unnecessary. This is
my history hat.
He can't hear me.
This is my history hat. I can't hear you. I'm gonna take off my history hat and put back on my headphones.
Jordan, you put on your Jordan. It was an invisible history hat. Together now.
Oh, so you didn't say the invisible
Gotta
part.
put the invisible history hats on. So Jordan, I don't know if you remember a time back in the 1940s called. Everyone might have heard of this.
Called World War
II.
II.
And a group of people called the Nazis.
Called the Nazis, which is going to get us stricken from this video.
Which is going to get this video likely blocked on definitely TikTok, because TikTok doesn't like the word Nazis or Hitler. I've gotten community guidelines violations for just saying the word Hitler or Nazi. Oh no, I guess these videos can't go on TikTok now. But anyway, I don't know if you know, Jordan, about those guys. Is they very famously
Never heard of them.
Okay. Jordan, they very famously lost. Remember that bit where they lost? We whooped their asses, sent them back to the dregs from which they came, and they lost?
I mean, I could see how someone might not think we like that they lost looking around at the world today, but they did, in fact, at that point in time, lose.
Technically speaking, they lost. So, after they lost, Jordan, the rest of the world went, well, it was sort of like that speech in Doctor Who where the doctor's like, going is good, never coming back is even better. They needed to punish the Germans, but not punish them in such a I am oversimplifying and overgeneralizing, but basically they had to punish the Germans not similarly to how they did in World War I, because that led to World War II, but also send the message that what they did in World War II can't happen again, and that is bad, and that they need to be punished, but punished in the correct way, because
and this is related to a movie, right?
So they ultimately decided that how to do that is to put them on trial. This movie is about those trials.
So it's based on a true event.
Yes, it is based on a true event. Yes, it is based on the Nuremberg trials post World War II, where they put a bunch of World War II, or a bunch of Nazi generals on trial, including, they don't really fully explain. He's basically Hitler's second in command, is basically how they describe him. Göring is his name. He is played by Russell Crowe, a very quite heavy-set Russell Crowe, and he is really good in this. And this movie is, I've buried the lead really with my very long introduction, but it's quite good. It is very good. If you like courtroom dramas, like if you are into really captivating, very, very interesting courtroom dramas, this is it. It's got Rami Malek is a psychiatrist who's basically been charged with essentially keeping these Nazi prisoners alive because they all want to self-emulate, as it were. They all want to kill themselves. And so he has to prevent them from doing so by giving them therapy. And he ends up writing extensive... he's basically tasked with finding out what's wrong with these people, basically. Like, these people did bad things. So, like, really bad things. So there clearly has to be something wrong, like uniquely wrong with them. And this is a concept known... I don't think they say it directly in this movie, but I don't think it's this guy particular who came up with it, but it's a concept known as the banality of evil, where
that sounds familiar.
He basically discovered that these were just regular guys. Like, you're expecting like some sort of boogeyman, man in the dark, like guy who's gonna jump
demon.
out and go, a demon guy who's exceptionally evil,
and it's just Tom from down the street.
Pretty much, like you want to be told that like special circumstances caused these guys to do this, and what he discovered was no, it did not, basically. And like, yeah, if you're not into courtroom dramas, it's a lot of characters standing around talking, like a lot of characters standing around talking and having conversations that go on forever. But it's so captivating, and the performances are so good. Like, they're all good. Rami Malek's good. Russell Crowe is good. There's the only thing that makes this a hard recommend for me to be like, you should check this out, is, but comes with an asterisk of, I think it's an important scene for people to watch, but it is, and this is, we don't do trigger warnings on this show, but I have to do one because this is really upsetting and really gnarly. But they show in the trial scene, when they eventually get to the trial, because most of the movie, I'd say 45 minutes of the movie is preparing for this trial, and then the rest of the movie is this trial. And to its credit, it's very accurate. Like, I saw a clip from another movie where it's
So
like
what is it like? They see them do like experiments
pretty
or
much they show videos of the Holocaust, of Holocaust victims, like the famous ones,
yeah,
not the
yes,
bad ones.
yes.
And in the movie, they show them to you. Don't cut away. They just keep cutting to the people in the audience. And when they shot it, that the first time they showed it to them was the first time they shot it. And the only time they shot it. So they could capture the authentic reactions of people in the room when they saw these images. And it makes the scene really powerful. But it is upsetting imagery. Like, upsetting. And it's like, it's a thing that makes you go like,
Yes,
I don't
it is
understand
upsetting.
how there's people out there who could possibly,
Deny this?
yeah, because it's like, this is 1940s and you can't. Yeah, and it's powerful. It's a powerful scene. And so it makes it hard for me to be like, you should watch this movie. The rest of it is highly, again, if you find court dramas entertaining. Like, if you like a show like Law and Order, this movie's quite good. It's quite entertaining. It's never boring. It's 2.5 hours long, and it really moves along at a clip. The pacing is solid. I was, like, never bored. I was quite impressed by how good it was.
A thing can be two things at once. It can be entertaining and you can still find it upsetting.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think the bit where they show the Holocaust footage, it is a long scene, but it's not the focus, and it's not overly long. It's as long as it needs to be, and it's like, yeah, it's upsetting, but it's upsetting in a way like you've seen these. If you're at all familiar with World War II, you've seen at least some of these videos before, and they're not easy to watch, but it's I don't know how to describe it. It's possible to sit through without feeling, but it does require a major trigger warning. I hate using that phrase, but it's in there, and it comes, and they give you ample, like, there's ample warning for it. Like, when the guy's about to show it, he does provide a kind of an in-movie trigger warning of, I'm about to show you this, and it's going to be real upsetting. So if it's too much, you can absolutely skip through it. But it is a powerful moment in that movie.
I mean, people they trigger warning all the time. I think that's just an fancy way of saying, just so you know, like, I'm gonna give you a heads up.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a heads up. But this is one. I don't want to use the word funny after I've said all that. But this movie's existence was amusing to me because it was like they announced it off of the backs of Oppenheimer, and it was like, what other World War II guy can we make a movie about? It was like, oh, the Nuremberg trials, but Nuremberg wasn't a guy. I thought Nuremberg was a guy.
Heisenberg.
Yeah, Heisenberg. Heisenberg's gonna be the next guy. This is gonna win awards. Or at the very least, it's gonna get nominated for awards. Russell Crowe will probably get nominated for an Oscar. Rami Malek will probably get nominated. This came out last year, so this is a new movie. But yeah, if you're into World War, this came off the heels of a recommendation of both Jake and Virus from Toon Talk 2.0, and they were correct. This is quite good if you're into World War II movies. It's one of the better World War II movies I've seen. This week kind of became a testing ground of movies for other episodes, ideas I have. So I could be like, hey, Jordan, when Jordan's like, when I go, I want to do this, and Jordan's like, I have no idea what I can do for this, I can go, you can watch Nuremberg. That's it. That's Nuremberg.
Okay.
They're not always
so my first one is called Mickey 17. It's a really, really good movie. It has Mark Ruffalo, who is the Hulk.
Yeah,
he's
stand by. He's just Donald Trump in this movie.
So it's interesting that you say that, because After listening to the background story, the things that lead to the events of BioShock, he's what's his name? Ryan Johnson from BioShock, the guy who
Oh,
makes
Jack, not Jack Ryan.
something
Jack.
Ryan.
Something isn't it something Jack?
Hold
No,
on.
it might be Jack Ryan. But when I hear Jack Ryan, I think of the spy from that one show. But isn't that character basically also just Trump?
Kind of.
But I'm more meant
Uh,
I'm more meant the affect and the physical appearance and the mannerisms.
oh, that I don't think is like Trump.
He's doing a Trump impression. He's just
I,
doing this.
I don't see it.
He's doing the protrude
Uh,
jaw. He's got the fake tan and the bad hair.
Rapture creator.
I would have just gone Bioshock 1 bad guy.
Andrew Ryan.
Andrew Ryan. I knew it was something Ryan.
Um, uh, but no, just in terms of he's creating his own society, and he's the total boss, and it's like a capitalist society, um, where businesses can do whatever they want.
Especially
That's
especially when you
it's
find
just
out how much Mark Ruffalo doesn't like Donald Trump. It's just Donald Trump.
yeah, I don't see that. But anyways, this movie's really good, and yeah,
It is really good
the
though.
bad guys, him and his wife, are just the worst.
Just the absolute
Um,
worst. Yeah, Rob Pattinson. I look. I said this. I said this when we talked about Rob Pattinson. To the man's absolute credit, it's why I get upset when people give him shit for Twilight. Still, I'm like, dude, you got to go out and watch another Robert Pattinson movie. Like,
you really do,
I
because
will
he's
say,
really
like,
good in this one.
he's really good. Like,
Um,
he never gives the same performance twice, and I
no,
respect that. I
and the two
respect
versions
that.
of him feel like two different
Yeah,
versions
we're
of
gonna
him.
talk about that. We're gonna talk about that later.
But one thing I actually found strange is maybe not the right word, but I didn't realize that it was Robert Pattinson until I looked up the
It's,
people who were in this movie,
it's Robert Pattinson doing
and I realized it was because I
he's doing a
realized
Steve-O
why I
impression.
didn't. Um, no, it's not even just the way that he acts, and this is maybe going to sound weird. He looks Asian
That's the point. To be fair,
in this movie.
this is based on a manga.
Sure, but I'm just saying, like he doesn't look like a white guy. He looks
So
Asian.
the
So he doesn't look like Robert
the
Pattinson.
character is probably being designed to look more like his anime counterpart, who is probably Asian. If I had to guess, that's probably what.
But so that is one thing about this is from what I understand, it's very different than the book.
Oh, very different. I mean, number one, it's
To the point where they like
it's called Mickey 8, so there's less Mickeys.
yeah, there's there's more versions of them because they it takes place on Earth. Whereas this takes place on an alien planet. So they added a bunch of the different Mickeys so they could make it so they could breathe on the planet, basically.
Yep.
Um, um, so as a result, from what I understand, there's a sequel to the book that they now can't do.
Ah, interesting.
Like they've changed so much in the story of this movie that they can't. The sequel is called um, Antimatter Blues.
Ah, I didn't know that.
So they apparently, like, yeah, they can't adapt it because it's too different
Hmm.
from the book. And the way that this one ends, like it ends
Funny
not
because
at all setting up for a sequel.
this is directed by the gentleman I believe it's the same director.
Bong Joon-ho.
Yeah, it's the same director who I'm gonna spoil. I'm gonna talk about Snowpiercer later, and same director. And there's a lot about this movie that reminds me of Snowpiercer, where it's
Oh, and the original version is Mickey 7, so there's 10 additional Mickeys.
This is a statement on capitalism and its humans all existing in like a similar space, creating their own not hierarchy and societal like layers always end up existing even in confined spaces. So like you've got the rich people who like go and get to exist with Mark Ruffalo, and then you get all the poor people on the lower levels who is
So you get to the bottom where there's Mickey, the expendable.
yeah, exactly. He really has a thing to say about capitalism. A lot of his movies have to speak about capitalism. I think that's why he picked this, is because of that.
Absolutely, I could see that.
I think he also did Parasite. I'd like to watch Parasite now, because I thought now that I actually paid attention to Snowpiercer, I was like, but I like Mickey 17. But I'm a big clone guy. Clone movies are always awesome. When you get to see multiple versions of
Unfortunately, this didn't do very well financially speaking.
but I just don't think that's fair, because it's not the kind of movie, like, people expected it to be this big thing, and I just don't think it's that kind of movie. I really don't.
I mean, I liked the movie. I'm just saying, I don't think we're ever going to get more of it because it didn't do well financially.
They treated it like it was a big blockbuster, and they gave it, or like it was a major tentpole release, and it's just not. I think that they need to accept the fact that a movie like this is going to be a middling producing, kind of like a middle of the road kind of, like, it's not a Marvel movie. But I think, to be fair, I think Mickey 7 is quite a popular manga, so maybe they had more.
Book. It was a book.
I thought it was a manga.
It's a book. It's a novel.
Oh, fair enough. Fair.
Maybe they adapted it into a manga. I can't speak to that, but it says here that it was originally a book,
Jordan,
a novel.
do you have anything else to say about?
I like it. I think Robert Pattinson is strong in this. I think all of the actors in this
They're all really good.
are fairly strong. Mark Ruffalo really does a good job of just being a rich asshole, a rich political asshole,
Yeah,
a surreal sleazebag who is also an idiot.
Yep.
Which is where when
thinks
you
he's
say
brilliant.
when you compare him to, that's the one way where I see the comparison,
He's Trump, she's
where
Melania.
he's an idiot, but everybody thinks he's a
He's got the
genius.
fake spray tan. I don't know how you couldn't see it.
I just don't see it.
Mark Ruffalo absolutely hates Donald Trump.
But anyways, not the point. This movie's good and worth a check out.
It is, and it's a shame because, yeah, the trailers kind of give the impression that it would be annoying. Like, Mickey has the absolute potential to be annoying, and he's so endearing. Like,
Yeah, he makes me think of
Mickey 18 also just, again, solid. Thing about Robert Pattinson is all of his performances are different, and that is just incredible. Like, there's no comparing this even to Batman, for example.
So I will say, I don't. There's this game that I've played, which is called The Altar, where I would be totally down. It makes me think of this movie, but I would be totally down if they made that into a movie, that game into a movie, and it was played by Robert Pattinson, because he has shown to me that he has the capability of being multiple people, and the very nature of that game is that basically one individual keeps getting cloned, and the computer essentially runs creates their entire backstory and their entire life, where it's all different from one particular moment, right? So you've got the one where, like, his childhood is different, so he's now a botanist instead of a space explorer. You have the one which is a scientist. You have the one, and they're all the same person.
But he's also a cowboy.
There could be, but no, there isn't. But, like, so you've got the different versions, which they're all the same person, and so that's where I say, after seeing this, I think Robert Pattinson could do that role.
That'll be fun.
Okay. And it would be fun. So that's Jordan. Mickey 17. That's Mark Ruffalo.
Jordan, I know. I said no superheroes, Jordan. I said no Marvel or DC, but I've broken my rule, Jordan.
How dare you?
For a trip to a little movie called Hollywoodland. Or why that cameo in The Flash is really ghoulish. Like, just really ghoulish. Like, really ghoulish and awful. This is about the actor. This is a movie about the actor.
What? Okay, so it's a documentary?
George Reeves. No, this is a biopic / mystery about the actor George Reeves, who famously played Superman in the 1940s serial.
But you said no superheroes.
Right, but this isn't actually about Superman. This is about the actor who played Superman.
That feels like a semantic detail. You're just doing a superhero.
It's a technicality, Jordan. That
It's bullshit.
I'm gonna
It's
and
bullshit. You're bullshit.
Ben Affleck plays George Reeves, George Reeve, who was Daredevil. And I think there might have been one other person in this who was in a Marvel thing, but I don't remember. And also there's also another narrative of Adrian Brody is a PI who has been hired by George Reeves' mother to. You know what happened to George Reeves? Do I have to go through that?
Is he the Superman that the little kid thought was actually Superman and pulled a gun on him and
Yes, that is a story that George Reeves would allegedly tell that no one can prove that it actually happened. But yes, that is there's a clip of Ben Affleck as Superman doing the "if you shoot me, the bullets will bounce off and hit the crowd." Yes, that was George Reeves.
yeah.
He resented being Superman because he felt that being Superman held back his career, which was apparently not true because he had a bunch of offers in the pipeline. But the whole deal is, and the plot of this movie is, his death was mysterious. Everyone assumed, or it's put down as a suicide, where he was at a dinner party with his fiance and two friends, and he went upstairs, and there was a gunshot, and he was found dead. But it was under mysterious circumstances. So, mysterious circumstances number one is he had no powder burns on his hands from shooting a gun that you would think would be on his hands. He was, I think it was, he was naked. They found him naked, which means he took his clothes off and then shot himself. And he had a bunch of bruises that indicated he had been beat up. So he beat himself up and then shot himself. And so there were a number of theories. One theory was that he got into an altercation because he was famously unhappy with the fiance that he was with, and he was actually not going to get married to her. So there's one of the theories is that he got into an altercation with her and she shot him, because another suspicious detail is after he shot himself, they didn't call the cops for 45 minutes.
I mean, it sounds like it shouldn't be some big mystery and the police just did a bad job.
And so, but also the other wrinkle in this is, and this is just me. This is what happens in the movie, by the way. These are all events that happen in the movie.
So they didn't happen in real life.
They did happen. They sort of happen in real life. Another bit, and the movie kind of plays fast and loose with this a little bit, but he was also in a relationship where he was, as they put it, all but married to this older woman who was the wife of one of the studio heads. And she financed his whole life. She bought him a house, bought him jewelry, took care of him basically. And in the movie he's played by Eddie Valiant from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And the movie makes it look like the husband doesn't know. And it implies that one of the outcomes for how he died was the husband was a famous Hollywood fixer. So he was a guy who took care of problems in Hollywood. And so the implication is that he found out, and it wasn't that he was upset. It was that the wife was upset, and that he had George Reeves killed, basically. He took a hit out on him. And then another theory is that she was so upset and bitter that he had left her for this other woman that she called this hit out on him.
So what you're saying is the fixer had a problem with his marriage, so he fixed it.
That's one of the theories, yeah. And so the movie, to its credit,
fixed it.
The movie is an interspliced narrative between the life of George Reeves, how he was kind of resentful of being Superman, and how he still respected it. So for example, when he was a smoker, but he quit smoking when he became Superman, because Superman doesn't smoke, and so he wouldn't smoke around kids or whatever. And it is intercut with Adrian Brody doing this investigation. The movie kind of implies that George Reeves' mother was a loon for some reason, like that she was crazy.
Was
And
she?
I don't know. As the movie goes on, though, it shows you and it plays out all the different theories, and the one that he eventually comes up with is the most probable, is the one where he just he was depressed about him not getting the prospects he wanted and his career not going where he wanted, and he shot himself. But yeah, it's quite good. The performance of Ben Affleck is quite good. This is before he was Batman. Adrian Brody is good. It's a fun little mystery. If you don't know the George Reeves story, it tells you why that cameo in the Flash movie is awful and ghoulish. Fun fact, he has no family, so there is no one to say no to that awful monstrosity.
That makes it more upsetting.
Right? I hate that cameo. Of the cameos in that, in descending order, that one's the worst, and then it's the Christopher Reeves one. I hate that movie so much because of that. Because yeah, he hated being Superman. Well, I don't think he hated being Superman, but he resented it, and like he wouldn't have wanted. He wouldn't have said yes, and it's disrespectful. But anyway, that is.
He wouldn't have said
Hollywoodland.
yes. He wouldn't have said yes, but he also couldn't say no.
It's true. Hollywoodland. It's pretty good. I enjoyed it. Good time. I always
Okay.
wanted to watch it. Finally did.
All right. Okay. I understand. I get you. I'm picking up what you're putting down. So my next one is called Ingenious. It has Jeremy Renner, so it's got Hawkeye from Marvel, from the MCU. And it has Ayelet Zurer, who I'm pretty sure is not Wonder Woman, is Lois Lane in Man of Steel.
Oh, that makes sense.
I'm pretty
Amy
sure.
Adams is Lois Lane in Man of Steel. What am I doing?
I don't know. It just says that it says here she was in Man of Steel.
Oh, I forgot to mention Howard Stark. The guy who plays Howard Stark is in Nuremberg. So there's 2. Bonus point for me.
She was also in Angels and Demons.
Oh, okay. All right.
But it just says that she was in Man of Steel. I don't know who. But anyways, Ingenious. Basically, 2 guys, one of which is Jeremy Renner. They have a company. He is the idea guy. Jeremy Renner's is the shady salesman who will do whatever he has to sell the products that his friend's coming up with. And they've had a string of bad, terrible ideas. Also, Jeremy Renner is a terrible influence on, I believe, the main guy, Matt. Yeah, Matt. He's played by Dallas Roberts. He listens to Jeremy Renner way too much. So his beautiful wife, who is played by Ayelet Zurer, is all like, dude, I've stuck with you for a lot. I'm just asking you to not take the money that I'm giving you or that you have and go spend it on gambling. And multiple times, Jeremy Renner convinces him to go and spend money on gambling.
Dang, it's like the one thing I asked you not to do.
He is a terrible influence.
Very specifically said, don't spend this on gambling, and then you spent it on gambling.
No, Justin. See, what she said was, don't go to the casino with this money. We're not going to the casino, Justin. We're going to the dog track. It's completely different.
It's completely different.
That's literally like one of the things that happens.
I mean, they're not wrong. That is entirely a different.
And then he loses the money.
Dang it.
And so, yeah, no. So basically, over the course of this movie, and it says that it's based on a true story. So take this with a I don't know if that's true. But they had to keep having terrible ideas. They have the one good idea that they have is they have this watch which like the image on it will change So it's like they've got the dog on it, and like what the dog is thinking of will change. So like it changes from food to a bone to like a different thing. And so at one point in the movie, they take it to the we sell this on TV for you people. Um, like the channel
Oh,
29,
yeah,
like
yeah. Now you see on
as
as seen
seen
on
on TV
TV.
or whatever. And they're like, okay, well, what we'll do is we'll pick it up and we'll fund this part, this part, and this part. And you'll get like 4% and we'll take the rest, basically. And Jeremy Renner, who is just all kinds of an asshole, is just like fuck that, basically. And then because they didn't make the as seen on TV people sign any sort of NDA, the as seen on TV people just steal the idea. Um,
How dare
and
they?
so then Dallas and Jeremy, Matt and Sam, go to a lawyer friend basically, and are like, "Do you think we have a case?" And he's like, "I think you have a case, but I'm not doing this pro bono." And they're like, "Well, we can't afford to pay you." And so then it kind of doesn't. That goes nowhere. And then Matt finally gets his $1 million idea, which is it's a like a can a beer opener, which when you open it, his prototype design has like a female voice going like, "Oh, like I love a beer," and it's like, like a novelty. Like
All right,
whenever you
then.
open it, it makes a
This
noise,
also seems
and they
useless.
and so people are like loving that idea, and then they get on it and they're selling them for like, I think it was like they said that it cost like $2 to make them, and they're selling it for like 5 or 6 um dollars.
All right.
And so then they make like a version where it's a
Sounds like
guy
entirely
who's
too much
opening
money.
it, and then they license and they have Homer Simpson is like they're doing the voice of Homer Simpson that does it every time it opens, and it's their $1 million idea, and that's basically that's the movie.
All right.
Also, there's a sister-in-law who is unpleasant. She's also
Is it
there.
just Jeremy Renner's in a Marvel thing?
What?
Just it was just Jeremy Renner.
Yes, but like I said, Alet Zurer was in a DC thing.
All right. I'll give you a bonus for
Man
that.
of Man of Man of Steel.
So, that it, Jordan.
Yeah, there's nothing really more.
All right. My next thing is I'm aware what I'm about to say is going to get me in trouble. So when I say that this is probably an unpopular opinion, understand that I understand
Uh,
that this is an
understand that,
unpopular opinion. That's why I say it's an
and
unpopular
and
opinion.
and these opinions, as I do not know what they are, do not reflect upon both partners of the Spur of the Moment podcast, and only reflect on the person who is currently saying them until or such time that I
I
agree with
thought
them
Sinners was
verbally.
bad. No, I'm kidding. No, my next one is Sinners. Uh, the big movie everyone's talking about came out last year. It's directed by Ryan Coogler. Stars Michael B. Jordan as the Smokestack Twins. Takes place in the Jim Crow South. And the Smokestack Twins have recently moved back to town, and they want to open up a
Bar.
basically club. There's a name for it, but I can't remember what it is.
Speakeasy.
Yeah, speakeasy basically. Yeah, for black people in their neighborhood, and they buy a barn from a Klans member. And the first, again, I think it's like 45-ish minutes of the movie is just them setting up this speakeasy basically, and introducing to the various characters and their relationships to each other and the various people who are going to be working in the bar. And so you've got their cousin, who is a blues musician. He plays blues music, but he's also a wizard. And his blues
Okay.
music.
So real quick, important for me to understand for context wise. Did you? I don't. Maybe you already said this. What what period of time is this supposed to take? Like, is this like the Civil War?
Post
Is it
post Civil
before the
War.
war?
Jim Crow South is like post Civil War.
Okay.
I can
So
bring up a specific year if that will help you. Think of in terms of slavery, like right. I think it's like right after
like they
Reclamation
just got
period,
rid of it.
more or less. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah, if I'm
So people
understanding.
are still incredibly
Yes,
racist.
the fact that they bought it from a clans person is a big deal.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, they're
okay.
and they're gangster guys. That's the whole idea. They robbed a bunch of banks up in Chicago and have come back to their little country town to open up this.
Okay.
Yeah, and the one guy's their cousin is a wizard. When he plays music, he summons people from like all
Like
over
a
space time.
an actual wizard or like a member of the clan wizard.
No, like a magic wizard.
Okay, so like an actual
Yeah,
wizard.
well, not really. I don't know. They have a name for him, but basically, like anytime he plays music, he summons ghosts and people from the future. Like, there's one point where he's playing a song, and there's this guy who randomly starts playing an electric guitar from like the modern day, and there's a bunch of they're like he's like basically like summoning their ancestors and their descendants from all across time.
We're just gonna call him a wizard.
His magic is so powerful that he can do this. Um, and he is into this one girl who he convinces to come to the club, and one of the twins is into I think she's the bartender. He's into somebody who he broke up with when he went to the city with his twin brother. They're both played by Michael B. Jordan, who his Marvel thing was he's Fantastic Four and he's Killmonger.
He was in Fantastic Four.
Yeah, he's Johnny Storm.
Oh, that Fan Four Stick. Right.
It's a Marvel thing, baby. Honestly, when I picked this, that's what I thought of, and then midway through this movie, I remembered he was Killmonger. And the other one, okay, I'm trying to get through because I'm trying to set the stage with all the characters because it hits a real weird turn in the middle, and so, the one twin is in
I
love
mean,
with a.
for me, it already hit a turn when you were like, "There's a wizard who's summoning
I
magic."
don't know how else to describe
That's
him.
th-
Someone's
that
gonna
that's
tell me
why
I'm
like
wrong with my
when you
characterization of
said
what he's like, but that's basically what he is.
when you said wizard in the South, my first thing was like, wait, like the
No,
clan
no, no, no,
wizard?
no, like magic wizard. That's the only way I could think to characterize what he does. There's a really long musical number where like guys from the future wearing weird clothes just randomly show up.
I mean, I would have also taken magic bard.
Bard, yeah, a bard. Oh, bard maybe would have been a better. Bard is maybe a better characterization. And yeah, so
Because you're saying he does music and stuff, and music magic bard.
one of the twins is in love with Haley Steinfeld, who is Kate Bishop and Gwen Stacy.
Okay.
Bonus points. I get some bonus points there, and yeah, so that turns out that a ways down the way, there's a vampire who is who is fed on these people. I think they're just racists at that point. That's all we know, and he converts the racists into vampires, and how vampires work in this, for lack of a better word, universe is anyone can turn anyone into a vampire, and it makes you live forever, and makes you super strong and super fast, and you all share a hive mind, but you all still retain your own mind, but you're all part of a collective hive mind now. And so the vampire and his two vampire buddies show up at the club and try to get in, and they're the kind of vampire that you have to invite in.
Oh, okay. That's
And
clever.
so they show up and they're like, "Yeah, just gotta let me in." And we're a bunch of musicians. We play this kind of music, and they're like, "A, you're giving us a bad vibe, and B, that's not really it's not really your scene, man." And they're like, "Come on, man." They're like, "Nah, man." And they're having trouble with money because they're in a former slave town, and so all of the people are playing with credits that are worth nothing. And so Haley Steinfeld is like, I should go. Since I'm white, and her and the one Michael B. Jordan twin can't be together because she's white, but she acts black. That's how I would characterize what she's like. I'm sure I'm getting that wrong. She goes out and talks to them and tries to be like, hey, your money is good. after all, and they bite her, and then it slowly is just like more and more people get turned into vampires, and the vampires all attack the bar, and it becomes a stand between who is left and the vampires. As the vampire army goes bigger and bigger and bigger, they obviously inevitably, you guessed it, beat the vampire. And the way they beat the vampires, they're the kind of vampires they can't go out in sunlight, so they just kind of wait them out till the sunrise happens, and they all burn to death. And then credits, movie ends.
Feels anticlimactic.
And well, sorry. No,
We
not
just
movie.
wait for them to die in the sun.
Movie doesn't end there. Sorry, it's revealed. I forgot. Big twist. It's revealed that the people who sold him the twins the barn, that they are clan members, and that they basically sold them to get them all gathered in one place so they could show up and kill them all. And so when the Haley Steinfeld goes out to talk to the initial vampires, she gets bitten, and they invite her in because they don't realize that she's a vampire. So she's like, "Yeah, just tell me I can come in." And he's like, "All right, you can come in." And so he gets invited in, and then him and one of the Michael B. Jordan twins end up doing it. And she bites him and turns one of the Michael B. Jordan twins into a vampire. And so it comes down to a showdown between one Michael B. Jordan twin and the other Michael B. Jordan twin. And they beat all the vampires, and you think all the vampires are dead, including the one Michael B. Jordan twin. And so the one that's still alive stays back, and he kills all of the KKK members who show up to kill the people who are there, expecting there to be a party of some sort with a bunch of black people, and it's just the one Michael B. Jordan, and he kills all of the Klan members in a scene that is fucking awesome. Like, it is great. It is super violent. It's super fun. This movie's great. My only real criticism of it, and this is going to be where I get in trouble, everyone is saying that Michael B. Jordan should win an Oscar for this. They're saying the performance is great, and I'm not saying individually the performances are pretty good. Like, as each of the twins, it's okay. Smoke and Stack. I don't think the movie does it. I don't think he does a good enough job differentiating them. Like, they just kind of read as the same character. Like, they're not doing enough to make them different characters. Like, there's, I guess, subtle characteristics of, like, one's kind of a more tough guy and one isn't, but the only reason I gleaned that is because I read the Wikipedia article. Otherwise, there's so many scenes of, like, them sitting next to each other just far enough so that they can split it on film. Like, it's the kind of movie that you can tell is not confident with your ability to tell which one is which, because one of them wears a red hat and one of them wears a blue hat, and the one that gets turned into a vampire is the one with the blue hat, and the one with the red hat is the one that kills the Nazis. And it's also not confident that you can tell the Michael B. Jordans apart, because it constantly, they say the other one's name, so you know which one is which. And so, yeah, so there's a one good scene between them. And also, for huge chunks of the movie, they're never in the same scene together. Like, for like a good 15 to 20 minutes of the movie, he's off doing different things as the two of them. So when it switches between them, they just kind of feel like the same character. But that's just my opinion. I'm sure I'm going to get slaughtered for that. But I just don't think... I watched American Pickle, and I think Seth Rogen... This is where the hot take comes in, I guess. I think Seth Rogen does a better job in American Pickle as being two people. Believably being two people. And I think Mickey 17, Robert Pattinson, does a much better job being two people than Michael B. Jordan does in this. I just don't believe him as two different people. But yeah.
I suppose the question is in this one, are they supposed to be identical twins?
Yeah, they're supposed to be identical twins, yeah.
Because that kind of makes it less bad that they're like exactly the same.
I guess, but it's just in terms of performance, I wish there was more differentiating them.
So you're saying you wish they weren't identical?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. So the red Michael B. Jordan kills the Nazis, and then the movie ends at its credits, and it's just this old guy playing the blues through the credits, and you're like, that's weird. And then the credits stop, and then the movie just continues on, and it turns out that blue Michael B. Jordan survived. He lived. Red Michael B. Jordan let him live, as long as he promised to not turn the cousin into a vampire. And just let him go on and live. And so it turns out that blue Michael B. Jordan has been alive as a vampire for like 40 years and is the same age. Him and Haley Steinfeld are both alive. That's the twist. That's the end.
Okay.
And the cousin plays the blues for him one last time. And the cousin, now played by a different actor, but an old man, is like, that night where we all played the blues and drank liquor at that bar was the best night of my life. And then blue Michael B. Jordan is like, me too, because that was the last time I saw my brother. And yeah, it's probably going to win a bunch and get nominated for a bunch of Oscars. Like, Ryan Coogler is probably going to get nominated for Best Director. I'm sure it's going to get nominated for Best Picture. Michael B. Jordan will probably get nominated for Best Actor. I liked it overall. Like I say, when he kills the Klan, man, it is sick. It is satisfying. It's really good. The musical numbers are great. I like blues music, so it did it for me musically. But like, I am obviously this skin complexion, so this is one of those times where I'm like, I don't feel qualified to talk about some of the Jim Crow parts of this movie, so I won't talk about those. But yeah, I need to see Marty Supreme, because the discourse Jordan is Michael B. Jordan is better than Timothy Chalamet and Marty Supreme. I have not seen Marty Supreme.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a movie about a guy who plays ping pong. Apparently. That's it. That's Sinners. Michael B. Jordan, who's Killmonger.
Okay. So, my next one, I actually think I get a couple bonus points with this one. But my next one is Star Trek Into Darkness.
Trek Into Darkness.
Bad is relative. Which I picked because it had Benedict Cumberbatch, who is Doctor Strange.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
This is before he's Doctor Strange, though. But then I realized that it also has Zoe Saldana in it. Who is Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy. And then I also realized that you said we get bonus points if they were in Star Wars, and it has Simon Pegg, who I'm pretty sure was in Star Wars.
Yeah, he was in The Force Awakens. That is true.
So I get 2 bonus points, and I'm not keeping track of points, but I'm pretty sure I'm winning.
I stopped keeping track a while ago.
Me too. And I will also say that I find it funny, ironic, funny. I don't know what the term is, but that the visual effects of this movie were created by Lucasfilm.
Yeah, that is funny. Yes, the big thing about this is he's not technically Khan. I mean, he says he's Khan, but he's not the. He's a different Khan. He's not the Khan that everyone knows from the show. He's not the Khan. He's a different Khan. I can't remember what his first name is, but he's not Sunan Khan. That's the car.
Hold on,
the car.
I could tell you because it's under allegations. It's under allegations of whitewashing.
Allegations of whitewashing is its own category. That's funny. I mean, they did whitewash.
Yeah, they criticize Cumberbatch being cast as the actor of Khan Noonien Singh.
Yes.
Saying that he had been whitewashed into oblivion.
Because he is technically South Asian. He has been whitewashed into oblivion.
He is Sikh in the original.
Yeah. Yes, he is. He's very specific.
Former ruler of much of Eastern Eurasia.
Yep. Yes, yeah. The episode he's from does not necessarily portray him as initially being a bad guy. But yes,
To be fair, neither does this until the end.
casting that character as a man from the UK is about as the opposite of that as you could possibly be.
Um, Now that being said, I I'm not like a deep Star Trek lore fan. So I'm going to be talking about this purely as a person who's watching it as a movie.
I like movies.
Um, and as a person who likes movie, it's also been a while since I've seen the first one, which I do remember liking more than this
First
one.
one's better.
Um, but
So I remember liking this.
I
I don't remember.
enjoyed this one. Like it's fun,
I don't remember having an
but
issue with it. But to be fair, I'm also just not a Star Trek guy. So like,
yeah.
I mean, I
So
am
like I
now.
enjoy it
Maybe
just as
now
a
I would hate it
movie.
more. Yeah.
I enjoy it just as a movie. Like it's fun.
But to be fair, I felt the same way
Um,
about the first one, where I was like, "Yeah, this is fun," but it just doesn't feel like Star Trek. But I think that's to its pro. That's to
it
its.
feels more like Star Wars than Star Trek.
It definitely has that. Oh, what's his name? The guy Simon Kinberg, Magic Blood. The guy who wrote it is a guy by the name of Simon. I believe so. You got it in front of you, right? Simon Kinberg, who wrote it.
Says this is written by Roberto Orci, Alex Kurtzman, and Damon
Sorry,
Lindelof.
it was Kurtzman and Orky. The guys who made this, everything they make, there's always a part of the plot is that somebody has magic blood. Magic blood that like they
Yeah, well,
wrote
he does. He does have magic blood. It
they
brings Kirk back from death. So,
they're responsible for, Amazing Spider-Man 2, how Spider-Man has magic blood. They're
oh,
responsible for that.
interesting.
Yeah. So that's why they need Spot or Khan's magic blood, because for whatever reason they have this thing about magic blood.
I mean, it's also just one of J.J. Abrams' best outings.
Oh, I don't know that I'd say that, but I won't disagree with you because I can't think of a better one.
I didn't say it was his best outing. I said it was one of his best outings. Mostly because anytime I think of J.J. Abrams, for whatever reason, negative connotations come up.
I can't think of I legit can't think of a thing that an overwhelmingly good thing that he's made. Anything I could think of that I was like, I like
Other
that comes with an asterisk.
other than like the first Star Wars Force
I like the Force
Awakens.
Awakens.
That I like.
End of list
It's the only Star Wars one that I like.
of the ones that he made. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I can't think of anything else that he's done without actually bringing up his list of things that he's made, which I can't be bothered to do.
Cannot be bothered
Um,
to.
but no, yeah, this one I like the movie universe's version of Spock. I like Chris Pine as
Oh, Super 8. I'm pretty sure he directed Super 8. That movie's pretty fun.
I don't remember if I had issues with that one.
I seem to recall you saying it was alright. Like the
Anyways,
Goonies, I recall.
I like the portrayal of the characters in this.
I mean,
I can't speak how accurate they are to the actual characters, but I do know that Leonard Nimoy has no issue with the way that Chris Pine plays Captain Kirk.
Here's what I will say. I think I've learned by watching Star Trek is that Scott is kind of a badass. Like, just a total badass. And, like, my cultural perception of Scotty is that he's a goofball. It's like, I'm giving her all she got, and I just can't do it, Captain. She don't got the power. Like, to me, Scotty is silly. And I think that this movie contributes to that cultural perception. So, like, he's the one character where I'm like, Scotty doesn't get what he deserves. I just don't think Simon Pegg as Scotty is. Not that he's bad. The accent's all right. It's just I don't think it's a good representation of Scotty. But no, Chris Pine is in retrospect. Chris Pine is as Kirk is actually pretty close. It's closer than I think people kind of. Me and Jake talked about this because everyone has this image of Kirk being like this and being over dramatic.
I think of
Psycho, basically, and it's like
they think of like older man Kirk more than they do younger man Kirk.
I think most people when they think of like Kirk being a cartoonish buffoon, they're thinking of the movies. Like I don't think they're thinking of
and the parodies. The parodies have become so pervasive.
right, but I think that a lot of the those that kind of humor, I think that a lot of that comes from the movies. Like Kirk really isn't like that on the show. He does have his moments of overacting. Don't get me wrong, they exist, but they're not as frequent, and he's not buffoonish or cartoony. Like honestly, yeah, Chris Pine is quite a bit closer to the original intent of Kirk than again people realize. I'm not a huge Zachary Quinto as Spock guy.
I'm sorry. Wait. Sorry. There was a third one?
Yeah, we've seen it.
Have we?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yep.
When?
We watched it at.
Because I don't remember there being a third
We
one.
watched it at Strawberry Hill with you know who, the guy who loves Star Trek.
Are you sure? Because I don't remember there being a
Directed by
third one.
Justin Lin. Yeah. Jake does not like that one. I maintain it's better than this one. But Jake
I'm
says
gonna
it's
have
worth
to.
it.
I'm gonna have to watch that
But, you know,
because I have no memory of
I
this
don't know
one.
why you would. It's a Star Trek movie. They're not super memorable. But
No, but I remembered the first one and the second one.
yeah, we've definitely seen it.
I don't. I have no memory of this one.
It's the one movie franchise that you know who requests specifically. But yeah, I remember watching. At least I'm pretty sure it was either Strawberry Hill or Riverport, but it was one of those.
Just I have no memory of it. Star Trek Beyond.
No, actually,
memory.
no, I lied. Actually, sorry. What year did that come out?
Uh,
I think we watched that out here.
Beyond came out in 2016.
Yeah, no, we watched that out here. I lied. We watched that out here.
10 years ago.
Pretty sure we watched that in VIP.
10 years ago.
Yeah, pretty sure another friend was involved as well.
I have no memory of that one. So I'll have to contrive a reason to rewatch the first one, and then watch that one.
Fair.
But that's Star Trek Into Darkness.
Trek Into Darkness.
I think why I don't remember the third one is just because there were so many jokes of Star Trek Into Darkness. Like that joke pervaded the internet for so long. And clearly the third one just didn't have even the joke reception.
The third one is more closer to a like the first one was like a big story. This was an adaptation of Wrath of Khan, and the first one is closer to a traditional episode.
Third one, you mean?
It's closer to a traditional episode of the show, which, like, based upon my memory of that movie, is just not true. But
yeah, I'm gonna have to find a reason to rewatch that.
Star Trek Into Darkness. My next
Star Trek Into Darkness
contains the man himself, Captain America.
America.
And this is Chris Evans in Snowpiercer. Have you heard of Snowpiercer, Jordan?
I know the name because... Sorry, I was like, why do I know the name? Chris Evans. I know the name because I saw the name when I was also looking at Chris Evans movies. I think I almost picked that one, and then I didn't. But no, I've never actually watched it or know anything about
Big
it.
Train.
Really.
No, it's a lot of these are going to end up being post-apocalyptic movies, Jordan. At least two.
Well, at least they're not post-apocalypto movies.
That is true. But basically, this takes place. It's directed by the guy who directed Mickey 17, same guy, and this takes place in the future, where in order to combat climate change, they have launched. They say this in a wall of text at the beginning of the movie, but they've launched some sort of aerosol bomb that worked too well and created a second ice age where humans it's too cold for humans to live on or for anything to live on the planet, and so the remainder and bulk of humanity have confined themselves onto a global circulating train, that massive globally circulating train that travels around the world over and over again. And people, it's really, really long, and people live on it, and all the poor people live at the back of the train, and all the rich people live at the front of the train. And Jordan, what do you think this movie's about, just based on that setup alone?
Well, I'm just gonna shot in the dark here. Capitalism.
Yes, Jordan, capitalism. And what do you think's at the front of the train, Jordan?
Capitalism.
Rich,
Rich people.
rich people, and the poor people are at the back of the train. And Jordan, the poor people at the back of the train, they're upset about the fact that they're at the back of the train. So
They're at the back of the bus. I mean train.
they want to create a big old uprising. So Chris Evans is the leader of the uprising, and it has the war doctor is also there, whose name escapes me, and he's encouraging to do this uprising, and
This must be an old one then.
yes, I want to say 2016, I think. No, 2014, because he's in the middle of being Captain America. They weren't sure about him at first because of Captain America. They didn't think he'd have the range to pull this off. And yeah, there's a evil
John Hurt.
Sorry, what?
The war doctor. It's John Hurt.
John Hurt, yeah. And so they formulate a plan basically to make their way up the train. The movie is about them making their way up the train. They rescue this engineer guy from a prison or whatever, and they manage to kidnap, take control of
The train.
the train's leader, second in command, who is just awful. The train is basically controlled by like these army guys, and she just like monologues and says like awful things about how like people have to make these sacrifices or what have you, and the train is treated as almost like this religious entity, and they're like everyone has a place on their train or whatever, and they take a bunch of kids from the poor people in the train, and they're like, oh, the guy at the front of the train likes kids for some reason, and it's implied that he likes kids for that reason, and you're like, oh no, this is bad, and so it becomes the part of the reason why the revolution gets accelerated is because there's a time clock to save the kids. And so anyway, so they make it to the front of the train, and it turns out that all the rich kids at the front of the train have been propagandized into seeing the train as this like almost like child like fantasy story figure, and he finally gets to the front of the train, and big twist, it turns out that
Big twist.
the guy at the front of the train is working with I forget his name. You just said it too. The war doctor is working with the
John
war
Hurt.
doctor. John Hurt is working with John Hurt at the back of the train, and the idea of the revolution is just
Or something hurt.
John Hurt. Yeah, that was it. They work together to create fake revolutions to give the people the idea that they have false hope, so that they'll do these revolutions so that they can basically use it as population calling, because the train only works when it sits at a particular level of people. Like the ecosystem of the train only works when there's a select population of people. So
There
in
can
order
only be
to-
200.
Pretty well, yeah. I think it's like 300. I can't remember the exact number, but pretty well, yeah. And they're like, the only way to whittle down numbers is to have the people kill each other in an uprising. And that's my part I play in this, is I create the propaganda that allows this to work. And I want you to be in charge. That's what John Hurt wanted as well. He wanted you to be in charge. And it's revealed, another big twist, there's a succession of twists. It's revealed that all the kids that were taken, they've all been brainwashed, basically, all the poor kids, into being parts of the train. So like he opens up one of the panels of the train, and there's just like kids like underneath the train, like running the train. And so the entire train is run by children,
More children.
which is a metaphor, Jordan, for how the future of humanity is built on the backs of the youth.
Slaves.
The youth, Jordan, and slaves, but the youth. And it's all right.
Just like real life.
I honestly like Wiki 17 better, personally. It's not. People have cited it as being a pretty good action movie. It's all right. I found some of the camera work to be really shaky. As an action movie, it didn't really work for me. The metaphors and the allegories were like, oh, this is interesting. Like, there's a bit at the end where you find out that that the reason why he's part of this revolution is because he tried to eat. Basically, everyone in the back tail got so desperate that they started to eat each other, and he tried to eat the baby of John Hurt, and that's what got him involved in it. And it's a really powerful scene. Chris Evans is quite good in this. And there was someone else. There was someone else that was in a Marvel thing. Who was in this? Let's see if I can figure out who it is.
Doesn't matter. I'm still winning.
But this had Chris Evans.
Because I'm going to be getting more bonus points in my next one too, Justin.
Jamie Bell.
And the one after that, I also get bonus points.
Jamie Bell was it. Jamie Bell is the Fantastic Four. He was the Thing. He's also
The
Tintin.
Fantastic Four and Where to Find Them.
And Where to Find Them. He's also Tintin in that one Tintin movie.
Tintin.
Tintin. That is the end of that. That is the end of Snowpiercer.
Well.
Welly.
My next one is Ghostbusters Afterlife. I picked it because it has the man, the myth, the legend, Paul Rudd, the Ant-Man.
It's funny when you were like, Ghostbusters Afterlife. I'm like, who from Marvel's in Ghostbusters? I completely forgot Paul Rudd's in that movie.
Not just Paul Rudd, but there is also another person who is in this who was in a Marvel thing. And that is the mom, Carrie Coon, who, yes, she is Thanos' henchman, Proxima Midnight.
No kidding. Oh, shit. And then Bill Murray as well. Bill Murray's in Ant-Man 3. That's the one I went. And he's like, oh, yeah, Bill Murray's in Ant-Man 3. And then you went Paul Rudd, and I went, oh, yeah, Paul Rudd is in these movies. I forgot about that.
I forgot about Bill Murray too. So I get 2 bonus points from this.
This movie, it's hard to hate this movie because it's not a bad movie, but it is disgusting and manipulative.
So
it's
part of what makes
Awakens, Jordan. It's the Force Awakens for Ghostbusters.
I agree to a point. I think it's less bad than the Force Awakens.
Oh man, it's worse.
I personally think it's less bad than The Force Awakens, but I absolutely see the comparison. For me, and I believe I said this the first time we watched this, but the one way in which I will agree that it is worse than The Force Awakens is the Spangler. I'm going to call it a cameo, but the Spangler cameo.
Awful.
It's ghoulish and it's bad and it's not good. But I think what makes it so bad is that he doesn't talk.
I think so, yeah.
Like he's just a silent. He's literally a ghost in the machine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where like he doesn't talk, he doesn't speak. He just like smiles and nods, like because they didn't get his voice, so they can't do a voice for him. Yeah, so it's not like.
Do you hate generative AI slop? You have shit like this to thank for it.
Like
I hate it. I hate it. The first time I watched it. I hate it every time I see it. It creeps me out. It's weird. I hated it when it was Tarkin and
it would.
I hate it.
It would be less creepy for me if like they had like even gotten, and it would still be morbid. Like there's no version of this where it's not morbid.
I don't think there's a version of this that's okay.
No, I should say there's one version of this where I can say like okay, and it's the version with Carrie Fisher where he was alive to give consent before.
Okay, yeah. When they're alive to give consent, it's different.
It's different for me. I still don't like it, but then it's different.
Yeah, it's a different kind of weirding. And like I just don't care that the family. I get that the family gave their consent and their permission, their well wishes. Like there's the guy who he did it for that Alien movie, and his family apparently cried. But and who am I to take that away from
I
them?
I
But it's
think it would
still
have made it less
gross and
weird for
weird.
me if they had like if okay, so family gave permission, they're gonna put it in no matter what. I think for me it becomes less weird if like you even go back to the or like the original stuff and take some of his voice lines from that
Something.
or something.
Maybe kill off
Have
one of the other
some way
Ghostbusters so they're also dead,
of having him talk
or
like
something.
some sort of line, even if it's just like a grunt or like something. But like he has no noise. He doesn't
What's weird.
do anything, and it's weird.
Well, this movie really wants to go out of its way to pretend that Ghostbusters 2 wasn't a thing. Because, like, yeah, it really goes off of the idea of who Egon was in the first movie. But, like, Egon in Ghostbusters 2 was, like, reasonably sentimental and, like, kind of sassy. So, like, he would have had, like, a line to say. Even if you couldn't get his voice back and, like, I don't know, he communicated through one of the people and the character spoke in some capacity.
Or like he had to talk through the radio or something, and so then you can have a sound alike who vaguely sounds like him, but it's crackly and it's like you don't fully hear, and so that's why he doesn't sound exactly that. Like they could have come up with
Or, like,
something.
I don't know,
Or like he leans
recast.
down, even if they had gone the lazy route of he leans down and whispers in his grandchildren's ear, Finn Wolfhard's ear or something, and Finn Wolfhard talks for him.
Or don't bring the character back or recast. I like those two options better. Those are my options I like better.
I would have just not brought him
I
back,
would have just
but you
not
know
brought him back. Like, well,
that's just me.
you can bring it back where the guy kills him at the beginning, and that's the inciting incident. And like, there's all the like, you could have it where like he's the one leaving behind the mystery for them to solve, all and have him participate in the story that way. But don't have him show up. As I know we're fixated on this, but I just cannot stress how much I hate it. It makes me hate this movie, and it's the thing that, and it makes me extra upset because I like this movie. I like everyone in it. I like Paul Rudd. I like
Yeah,
Finn
it's
Wolfhard.
otherwise
I like the sister. I like what they do
it's
with her.
otherwise a really decent and solid movie. It's just that one scene, that one thing which off puts me,
Oh, it's off
and so
me so far.
that's where I say I would like to and I watched this so that I can then
I know
watch
I
the
want to see the
sequel.
new one.
But like I want to see the next one because
I've heard
if
it's
he's not
bad.
in that one, if he's not in that one, then it just to me
I've heard it's bad.
should make it solid.
I've not heard good things. But yeah, I'm of the same opinion. I'd like to see same ingredients minus the creepy ghoulish cameo and see if it improves my mood on it. Also, the character is this the one that has a character named Podcast that does a podcast?
He refers to himself as podcast, yes, and he
Because
does a podcast.
like it's
And
one of
his
those
one
characters.
and his one subscriber is the original
It's one of those
Ghostbuster
characters
dude.
where you're like, oh, clearly the person who wrote this has never actually listened to a podcast in their life. It's like reminds me of that movie Free Guy, where it's like, oh, none of these people have ever played a video game.
Yeah, but you know, I gotta say, overall, this movie is fairly decent, and financially, it did pretty good.
It did enough to make a sequel and probably another sequel. And like,
It's
yeah,
just
I will say
it's
it
just weird to
does.
me that like nobody seems to be
Hey,
bothered by the ghoulish cameo.
Bill Murray was willing to stand up for this one, so it's how you know. It's how you know that this was a good one. He was actually willing to get out of
Interesting.
his chair.
So apparently, there's a I don't know if this is still in development or what, but there is a separate animated film by Sony, which is announced to be in development.
Huh.
But
Interesting.
I don't know. I don't know. Huh. And apparently, according to this, Aykroyd has expressed interest
So yeah,
in having the surviving cast of the original Ghostbump be in up to 3 sequels.
sorry, the animated. I knew about we've talked about the animated series, the one that's going to Netflix. That's supposedly a sequel to.
Film. It's going to be a film.
Oh, at one point it was going to be a series, and it was
On
going to
the
be.
Wikipedia here, it just says a separate animated film.
Oh yeah, no, we talked about it. It was going to be an animated series, and it was going to be produced and made by.
Not series, film.
Let me just. What it was going to be, we talked about in the show, was going to be a show, and it was going to be on Netflix, and it was going to star the original cast. So maybe it's changed to a movie, but it was a show at one point.
I just know that here it says film.
Uh,
But you know, that's Ghostbusters Afterlife. Good movie.
it's all right.
In spite of its one major flaw.
Yeah, it's a real major flaw.
For me it is.
Jordan.
I can see how for some people it might not be, but for me it
It should
is.
be. It should be for every person, especially if you hate AI. My next one, Jordan. Sometimes it's funny.
I mean, was the ghost made by AI? I feel like that was just an animated thing. I don't know what
No,
AI
because
has to do with that.
well, no, because photorealistic recreations of people in film like that, where you bring a person back from the dead, that technology is what went into that AI generated slop. You know, the AI videos where it looks too real. That's the same technology. That's where it went to.
I mean, fair enough, but
So people supporting
it just feels like you're complaining that that specifically is AI slop,
no,
and
no.
I'm like, I'm
What I'm
pretty
saying
sure
is
it was very much animated by people.
what I'm saying is that people supporting that and people being okay with that and people crying over it
Became AI
is what
slop.
became AI slop. Yeah, because
Oh, okay,
that
okay.
inevitably
It's the progenitor.
yeah that technology is what would eventually become AI slop. Um, so Jordan, every once in a while I watch a movie where it won a bunch of won a bunch of awards, and I go initially I'm like ugh, and then I get midway through it and I'm like, no, I get it. This is The Hurt Locker. This came out in 2008. This won the Best Picture. This was in the same year as Avatar, and this movie winning Best Picture was funny because it is directed by the ex-wife of James Cameron, and the Oscar was just another thing the ex-wife took from him.
Okay.
You know, in the divorce, just took the
Sorry.
Oscar.
Say that again.
Um, so this is the Hurt Locker.
I'm not even gonna lie. I was distracted. I was reading about a deleted scene from Onward.
I understand. So, The Hurt Locker. The Hurt Locker came out in 2008.
It is a locker full of things that hurt people.
Yes, this came out in 2008, same year as Avatar. And what's funny about this movie is it was directed by James Cameron's ex-wife, and it beat Avatar in the Oscars that year. So it was another thing that James Cameron's ex-wife took from him.
Ah, because of the divorce.
Because of the divorce, yeah. And so this I got a twofer. Pre Avengers, Jordan. This stars Jeremy Renner and Anthony Mackie.
Interesting.
Captain America.
So you got Captain Falcon and Captain America.
Yes, Hawkeye. And the plot of this is it's the rotation of Delta Bravo company. And they're a bomb extraction squad, basically in Afghanistan. Either Afghanistan or Iraq, the Middle East, basically. And the bomb squad guy gets blown up at the beginning of the movie, and Jeremy Renner gets brought in, and he is kind of like arrogant. He's gone through this a bunch, and his whole thing is like this is his whole thing. Like it's all he does. Like there's a point, not to jump ahead, but there's a point at the end where he goes back home and he just can't integrate back into real life. So the movie ends with him just going back to Bravo Company because it's the only thing he can do. And there's this really, it's my favorite scene in the movie, but it's so simple where they've gone on this like really like was bombastic mission, and it cuts to a guy at the base and he's just playing a violent video game. Like he's playing like a shooting game and he's shooting people, and in the next scene he goes out and he shoots a bunch of people, as a soldier, and like just the juxtaposition of
So
the
I'm gonna let you.
desensitization to
I,
violence.
I'm gonna let you finish, but I need to interject here because as soon as you said bombastic, the first thing that my brain did was Mr. Bombastic,
It's the kind of movie that have that at the.
and play that song in my
I
head.
mean, I went bombastic side eye. But Jeremy Renner, he meets a young boy that he bonds with, and over the course of an operation, they discover what the movie calls a body bomb. I don't know if that was a thing they encountered over there, but if it is, fucked up. It's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's a body that has a bunch of explosives in it. The people, when they go to investigate it, it goes boom.
I mean,
Um,
it sounds just fucked up enough to be real.
It
So
does. It does sound fucked up enough to be real. And the action sequences are like really good and really well shot. Anthony Mackie is also really good in this. Jeremy Renner is really good in this. I think he got nominated for Best Actor. The cinematography is phenomenal. It's one of those movies where like, I understand why it won and got nominated for a shit ton of Oscars, because it was one of those I cynically avoided for years because I was like, there's no way it could possibly be that good of a movie. But it's like, yeah, but it is. Like, there's this really good, really cool scene where they're in a like a not stare down, but like a showdown or whatever between a sniper and Anthony Mackie has him pinned down, and it's just the close-ups on their faces of their lips are all cracked, and like he's like, I need juice, and the guy gets him like a Capri Sun, and like Jeremy Renner is like struggling to like open this Capri Sun, and yeah, he's like there's a point where basically Jeremy Renner has to learn. He becomes too emotionally attached to things and to people, and at the end, spoiler alert, he thinks that this boy has basically that he was the bomb, and he goes on this like Jason Bourne style mission trying to find information and try to find what happened to the boy, and in the process of doing that, he gets a bunch of people killed, and he goes back to the base after they have this like successful mission that happens as a result of it. And he goes back to the base, and they all get commendations, and the one of the people in the squad winds up with a bullet in his leg, all because they tried to look for this boy, and it turns out the boy's alive. And so Jeremy Renner just like coldly like walks past him because he realizes that the kid was never friends with him. It was all just a con to get him to buy DVDs and buy him stuff. And he's like, I can't get attached to people in this position. And yeah, he goes back home, and he can't adjust back to being at home. He can only function when he's disarming bombs at the war, in a war, and he signs up for another rotation on Bravo Squad. And the movie, I was surprised by how much I liked this movie. It was really good. In terms of like war movies, yeah, man, you definitely learn. Like, I'm pretty sure this was either Iraq or we're gonna Google it right now. I'm pretty sure it was Iraq.
I mean, really, at the end of the day, Justin, war. Ugh.
What is it good for?
What is it good for? Justin, the answer
nothing.
is absolutely nothing.
Say it again.
Now you need to say it again.
War.
Ugh.
Oh yeah, so it's the second year of the Iraq War. The Army Explosive Ordnance Disposal Team. That's what it's about. And yeah, quite good. But it's really the thing about watching movies about America is you're always like, there's a certain part of you about the American Army in particular, especially in conflicts like that. I kind of have the similar experience with the Vietnam War movies, where you're like, man, you guys sure look like the bad guys in a lot of these scenes. Like, I know the movie wants me to think that you're the good guys, but you're doing some bad stuff to some native people. Where you're like, you blame them for shooting? You just kind of burst in and start screaming at them in a language that they don't understand. I mean, you really blame them?
You just kind of showed up and started forcing your views and opinions on other people that didn't agree with you, and for some reason that you're the good people,
or not.
you know, you just
Freedom.
force your opinion on others.
Overly
Anyways,
overly simplify a decades-long geopolitical conflict. But yes, it's a really good movie. It really is. I was surprised. I was impressed. When we do our war movie episode, on the list.
So, if that's all you have to say about that, we're going to talk about my last rapid fire. And we're going to end on a good note because we're going to talk about Onward. Now, as for who's in Onward, you got Spider-Man, which is why I chose it. And then I remembered that it also has Star-Lord. And it has evil Samuel Jackson because it's got Julia Louise Dreyfus in it.
Sam Jackson. There's a bad guy in this?
No, not in this. I'm saying from the MCU.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
She's the character who I can't remember what the character is
from Seinfeld.
Yeah, but in the MCU,
I see. You're right. Yeah, she's Val.
Yeah.
Yes.
Evil
right.
Sam Jackson.
Right.
Evil
Sorry.
Nick Fury. Sorry.
I almost forgot the premise of my own thing here. Who's she?
So
Who's she in?
I think she's the mom.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And then there's the whatchamacallit, the what is it? The half one thing, half another person that they get the map from, who's played by Octavia Spencer.
Oh yeah.
But she's not from the MCU. At least I don't think.
I think she was in one of the Iron Man movies.
She might be. I'm too lazy to look it up.
I think she was. Maybe it was in the first. I'm pretty sure she yells at Tony Stark in one of the Avengers movies.
But
No,
sorry.
Captain America. I think.
Yeah, no. So basically, the two brothers, they find out because their dad has been dead for a long time, but he left a wand and a spell that he created, which would allow them to bring him back for one day so he could spend the day with them on Tom Holland's 16th birthday.
And they bring back the half that talks. You would think, like, if you're going to bring back half, you'd bring back the top half. Much easier to deal with.
No, I mean, it wasn't a choice. It was the spell got interrupted as it was summoning the dad back, and it got interrupted when he was about halfway through. So, but it's fun.
It's Hedis.
It's what?
To make his head appear first.
That's not how it works. Have you not seen this movie?
I have. I've seen it.
Then you know that's not how it works.
It could work.
That's not how it works.
Give it a chance.
No, that's not how it works. So what I really like about this world is I like how it's like, you know, it's like your mythical world, but like in the modern age. So like the centaur, he's like, you know, back in the day, you used to be able to run as fast as this. He's like, I mean, why would I do that? I have a car. The car does the running for me. And I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, the stepdad is played by Patrick Warburton.
Yeah,
the centaur.
Yes, I think you're right. Who is also Patrick Warburton has to have been in a Marvel thing.
Just don't remember.
Yeah, this poor movie got screwed by COVID. It came out in 2020, and it came out like right at the beginning when things were just starting to lock down. Like I think it was like right when people were just starting to not go to movie theaters. So I got really
which is why it didn't do very well financially as a result, because it couldn't.
I think the beginning of Pixar trying to utterly kill Disney.
It very specifically here says the COVID-19 pandemic contributed to its financial shortcomings due to the widespread closure of theaters.
And then the next like 3 Pixar movies went straight to Disney Plus. The Soul, Luca.
Apparently, it had a lot of success on VOD.
I can't remember what the one it might only been 2. But Lightyear was the first one to go back to theaters.
Yeah, it was the last one in theaters worldwide. But it's such a good movie though, and it's a lot of fun, and yeah.
But I would say though it's more than any of Pixar's movies, it desperately wants to be a franchise. Like
I mean, so
I don't know. It's like,
I
it's
would
like
have
that.
been.
I'm the same way
I
with
would have been.
cars, where I'm like, oh,
I would
it's
have
trying
been.
too hard.
I would have been very content if this was the Zootopia of 2020 and it got a second one.
Yeah,
I would have been very content with that.
I would be too, but I'm just saying, like, it reminds me of Cars in the sense that you could feel it trying, and I don't like it when I could feel a thing trying. It's like, that's why I like Inside Out better, because Inside Out doesn't try, and you're like, I want this to be a franchise. Same as Zootopia. Zootopia doesn't
It's
try.
funny.
It just
It's funny that you say that you bring out Inside Out because John Ratzenberger was in this movie.
yeah, because it's a Pixar movie. He's a
No, but
great.
I mean, like literally, he was in it.
I know.
He was a Cyclops construction worker,
John,
but it was his final role at Pixar until
oh,
Inside Out 2.
oh, interesting. Yeah, John Ratzenberger, up until that point, had been in every single Pixar movie. He's Ham.
This was his last one until Inside Out 2.
Oh, interesting. To be fair, they were like,
Yes, it does say here he had voiced a character in every prior feature
yeah.
film.
To be
But yeah,
fair,
this was his last one.
they kind of started putting them out quickly, though. To be fair, because I think not Coco, Luca, and Soul.
And it's
All
interesting
came out
to
within
me
like
that
a
you
year of each
say
other.
that you say franchise because this one, in terms of franchise ability, I mean, I see this and I see How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah, I could see why you would say that. And then the unit it felt a lot like Zootopia 2 in the sense that like they had created a universe where they're like we could make like 5 of these, and Tom Holland, we're gonna discuss this in a bit, desperately wants a franchise that's not Spider-Man. For whatever reason, he's not either doesn't like Spider-Man or is not satisfied with Spider-Man because he's got like 5 different movies where it's just like him trying to have another franchise.
I mean, at a certain point, you want to be able to stretch your limbs and do something different.
Yeah, but you don't need a franchise. Do fun little indie films, and then let Spider-Man be your only franchise, or make more Spider-Man movies.
And what's wrong with having multiple franchises?
It's too much. Clearly, that's why he hasn't made a Spider-Man movie. It gets in the way of him making Spider-Man movies.
Right, but at a certain point, he doesn't want to keep doing Spider-Man.
I know, but I do.
But I mean, it's not your life; it's his life.
But I'm controlling his life like a puppet master.
Yeah, I mean, you're not. Anyways, that's Onward. It's fun. More people should watch it, and
It's true.
I
You will
really liked
feel
this one.
emotions for pants that you never thought you'd
I
feel.
have a soft spot for a good brother movie.
I do too, and I love a good movie about pants. About a
I
pair,
don't. What are we doing here?
about a pair of pants traveling across the country.
Right. So what's your last rapid fire, or are you on to have scenes
I'm
now?
on to half scenes. My first half scene is. Oh yeah, okay. I really like this movie, and I just needed an excuse to watch it, and I realized that it contained Nicholas Hoult, who is Beast in the X-Men movies, and this is The Menu. The Menu is kind of tough. The Menu is really like any good menu.
The menu is tough.
Well, it's like any good menu. I can't describe to you, Jordan. Like I couldn't really describe to you what a good steak tastes like. It's really more about the experience
Medium
of
rare.
the menu. I couldn't like good food. I couldn't verbally describe to you what it tastes like. You have to experience it in order to truly.
I feel like that's not true. I feel
fully
like
appreciate
one very much
its-
could use their words to describe good food.
It wouldn't be the same though as if you had. So I'm going to attempt to. There really isn't much of a plot to this. So okay, so the movie kind of starts.
What is
off
the
with-
movie?
It's called The Menu,
The
starring
menu.
Ray
Okay,
Fiennes,
okay.
and it has Nicholas Hoult. Nicholas Hoult is a foodie who, him and his date, played by Anya Taylor-Joy, who is Peach in Mario, at this. He's not quite Gordon Ramsay. He's a bit more pretentious than Gordon Ramsay, but he's basically Gordon
Well,
Ramsay.
that's saying something.
He's like a professional chef, and he's got this professional restaurant that it's so expensive and so high end to get to. You have to take a boat to it, and like it's the kind of fancy restaurant where it's like an 8-course meal, and every dish, every dish has like a name and a story, and before every course, the chef gets up and does a big speech about each of the things, about what it's about. It's that kind of fancy restaurant.
Pretentious.
Yeah, super pretentious. And so he has invited a bunch of guests. One of them is an actor played by John Leguizamo, and his agent. One table is a bunch of employees of the company that invests in his restaurant. One of them is a older gentleman, and his wife, who the Nicholas Holt's that weird Nicholas Holt and his date Anya Taylor-Joy recognizes this man, this husband, and am I missing anyone? I think that's it. And they show up at this restaurant, and the restaurant starts off. They're giving them there's like they pull in, and one of the they're pulling up seashells from the ocean that are going to be made into the food that they eat that night. And yeah, the chef starts to give like progressively more upsetting monologues as they have food. So like one of the courses is the sous chef comes out and is like, yeah, the head chef guy tried to have sex with me and I turned him down, and so he made my life miserable, and this is my ode to that. And then it shows you like on screen, it like shows you a dish, and what it's made is what it's made out. And the movie is the courses go on. At one point, oh yeah, so yeah, no, it's called Man's Folly. Her dish, the one where she's like, oh, he tried to have sex with me and I said no, and he punished me with it. And so she comes out and she stabs him with like a small knife or whatever. And they go on, and then another one is the sous chef, where he's like, oh, he'll never be as good as a chef as me, and so here's his dish. And yeah, the speeches go on, and it turns out that this entire menu basically is him taking revenge on the so the one table, the old lady and the guy, they're like his most loyal customer, but they don't remember any of the dishes he's ever made, that he's put all this time and effort, and so they don't respect his art. They only come to him because he's expensive, and he's realized he's become part of the problem. Like the group of guys, they're like embezzling money. The actor guy, he took his one day off to go watch his movie, and the movie was bad. And so he's like, as a result, it made me like hate my art. And so yeah, as it goes on, the girl is not eating any of the food, and he's getting progressively more and more irritated. He's like, why won't you eat any of my food? Why won't you eat any of my food? He's like, I'll eat when I damn well feel like it, and you can't tell me. He's like, no, but the whole idea is it doesn't work if you don't eat the food. And then the menu ultimately is going to end with everyone in the restaurant dying. And you find out that Nicholas Holt was supposed to bring a particular person, but she broke up with him, and so he brought this new girl instead, which he wasn't supposed to do. So the chef has him get up and like is like, oh, you're a foodie. Like, you think you know everything about cooking just by like reading all my shit, watching my shit. You should be an amazing chef. So he has him get up and make this dish out of nothing, and like stands over on top of him, Gordon Ramsay style, and like berates him or whatever, and like eats the meal in front of him and critiques it like a MasterChef style, kind of in front of everybody. And he's like, yeah, it's terrible, basically. It tastes like shit.
It's fucking garbage.
It's half raw, and the dish ultimately, in its worst sin, has no cohesion. And so then the guy, obviously heartbroken because his entire identity is tied into loving this one chef, kills himself.
It's fucking raw.
And yeah, so anyway, big twist. It turns out that Margot, that's the name of the character. Turns out that Margot is a prostitute. And the reason why the old guy at the other table keeps staring at her is because he was a client that hired her to dress like his daughter and tell him he was a good guy.
Okay. That's
So,
I mean, everyone has a kink, I guess.
no, bad, no, no, absolutely not. And so, the chef is basically like, yeah, I need to know where to put you. Are you in the service industry, or are you the served? Like you have to die either way, but are you gonna die with us or with them? And it gets to a point basically where she's like, yeah, why would I want to? He keeps being like, why won't you eat my food? It's like, because why would I eat anything you make? You clearly don't give a shit about anything. He's like, why don't you make something I actually want instead of this like hoity-toity, like holier than thou bullcrap? And he's like, well, what do you want? What do you really want? And earlier she'd seen a photo of him at a
Burger and fries.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah, she sees a picture of him at a burger restaurant, and that was the last time he had felt any passion for cooking. And she's like, I want a cheeseburger, but like a proper cheeseburger. Like, I want the best cheese. And he's like, I'll give you the best cheeseburger you've ever had in your fucking life. And he makes her this cheeseburger, and she takes one bite, and she's like, can I have this to go? And he's like, yeah, and he lets her go, and then proceeds to kill the rest of the restaurant, the rest of the people who he had initially planned to kill. And they're all like, they finally, I guess, at the end of their lives, understand the beauty of the menu, and its simplicity and what it's like, or and its beauty and it's what it's meant to represent. And it's one of those movies where it's all metaphors and similes and whatnot, you see, and it's pretentious, but that's the idea, because it's meant to be critiquing something that is in itself pretentious. And it's really funny. It's a really funny movie. There's a really funny bit. I think it's during Man's Folly, where he's like, you will all, in a greatest like game style kind of moment, is like, all of the men will be given like a 45-second head start to get out, and then one of the frat boy guys just takes off. And he's like, starting now, to get away. And if any of my chefs catch you, they will bring you back here, and then you will be made to die. But this is your chance to escape. And yeah, it's just his Ray Fiennes. He's Voldemort from Harry Potter. And if you've seen The Kingsman, he's in that as well. His dry sense of humor is so funny. Nicholas Hoult, he's also smarmy and awful and terrible. Like, he's told that everyone's going to die at the end of the menu, and that's the point. And he invites Margot anyway, knowing that she's gonna die. He's smarmy and awful. There's a lot of twists and turns. I've done a bad job describing it intentionally, because I think you would enjoy it, and it's definitely a movie worth checking out. It's good. It's The Menu. The Menu.
So, my first have seen. I had to pick one of the founding members of the MCU. And so I picked a dude who was playing a dude while dressed as another dude. I picked Tropic Thunder.
This movie's funny.
And I picked that because it has the Downey in it. Where, he is an Australian actor who has gotten a pigmentation surgery so he can play an African American soldier in this movie.
Boy, did he.
And boy, did he.
Boy, did he.
And so, yeah, this movie is basically, you have a bunch of pain in the ass actors who are supposed to be making this Vietnam movie, and they're all really famous in their own spheres of
Yeah.
influence.
Yeah.
So Jack Black is the comedy funny guy. Ben Stiller is the famous action star.
Who's I think
Robert,
directing.
no, they have a
They have no, they
director.
have a famous director. Right, right, right,
They have he's a new director, so he's still like babyface director, and he can't keep them in line.
right,
And then
right,
yeah,
right,
you
right.
have Robert Downey Jr., who is like supposed to be this Australian, like he was essentially in this universe's version of Brokeback Mountain,
Yeah, it's basically Heath Ledger.
more or less, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
that's why he's got blonde hair and he's Australian because Heath Ledger
and
had blonde hair and was Australian.
And then you have Baruchel, Jay Baruchel, who he's supposed to be like the fresh face, new to the industry person. And it's making fun of the industry. It's making fun of war movies. It's having a real good time. And it's not taking itself too seriously.
No,
Uh,
no, it's
and
not.
so yeah, they're having a hard time filming. So then the person who this is supposed to be based off of is like, "Well, just throw them into the jungle and film them with hidden cameras and do this and do that," and things go horribly
And
wrong.
it turns out, spoiler alert, that guy's full of shit.
Yes, he is.
I made
His
the whole
hands
thing up.
weren't his hands weren't missing. He made the whole thing up. Also Danny McBride is there, and he's the uh what is it?
Demolitions expert.
Special effects. That was it. Demolitions. I was gonna say special effects.
Got Tom Cruise
Um,
as Les Grossman, who they were gonna make a Les Grossman movie, and they never did, and that's a shame. There's a universe where they made a Les Grossman movie, and where that world is better for it. I like to think that's the world where Trump did become president.
I'm surprised that there's never been a sequel to this. Although apparently, I haven't watched it, but apparently they did a whole making of Tropic Thunder thing where it was them in character
That's funny.
doing a making of movie for Tropic Thunder the movie.
That's funny.
So that's a thing,
That's funny.
which I haven't watched. But Tropic Thunder itself had a budget of between 90 to 92 million.
It's one of the most
And
expensive comedies ever made, to my knowledge.
do you want to guess what its box office was?
It was expensive. I think it was like at least 500 million.
Well, box office for what it made.
500 million.
Oh no.
500
Made
million?
100. It made 195.7 million.
197.5 milli?
95.7 million.
Milli?
Million. And I mean, what else can be said about this? It's fun.
You're
It's
welcome.
stupid. It's silly. It has Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise is in it. So speaking of Robert Downey Jr., Jordan, for whatever reason, there's only been 2 movies in his life that he's really wanted to make. So much so that he created his own production company to make these movies. One of those movies, Doolittle. The other one is The Judge.
I'm guessing you're not doing Doolittle.
I'm not doing Doolittle. I'm doing The Judge. This is The Judge. Have you seen The Judge?
I don't think so.
The Judge is Robert Downey Jr. It's 2014, and Robert Downey Jr. is like, what if I didn't do Iron Man? And everyone's like, no.
You put that fucking helmet
Put
on.
that helmet on, and you Iron Man till we tell you to stop Iron Manning. And then maybe you get one movie where you don't Iron Man, and then you're right back to Iron Manning. Yeah, you're not Iron Manning, but you're Iron Manning. We all know you're Iron Manning. You're Iron Man until you're 90.
Ooh.
This is very much he very much wants to be taken seriously as a dramatic actor, and it's exactly the kind of so everyone in this movie knows the kind of movie they're in, and it's exactly that kind of movie, and they show up and they do the performance they need to, and they're all good performances, and it's what's his face? Oh, I lost the name. Robert Duvall. Robert Duvall is a judge. In case you don't know who Robert Duvall is the tough guy you get when Robert De Niro is not available. Like, it's not to say that Robert De Niro Robert Duvall is bad. It's just Robert De Niro can't be everywhere. Sometimes Robert De Niro needs to say no, and you need to get a tough guy, and Robert Duvall is there. That's who he is.
Okay.
I'm sure you know him from. Remember? Oh yeah, I mean, obviously you remember Four Christmases. Robert Duvall. You know him from something.
Duval. Oh, yeah, he looks familiar.
He's the tough guy you get when Robert. He even does a Robert De Niro face in this, but he's a judge.
Man,
And,
he is 95. Holy shit.
Yeah, he's a judge. Okay, I'm sorry. Robert Downey Jr. is a big time slick city defense lawyer who defends people who are obviously guilty because everyone needs a defense. And foreshadowing. And his dad, who he is estranged from, is played by Robert Duvall, is a small town judge. And the reason that Robert Downey Jr. is estranged from him, because when Robert Downey Jr. was a teenager, he got into a car crash where his older brother, played by Vincent D'Onofrio. Oh, I've got two. Oh, I just realized Vincent D'Onofrio is in is Kingpin. I'm just remembering that. And then they've also got a third brother who is developmentally disabled, who loves to record stuff. And they're very good with him, and it's really nice. And again, it's the exact kind of movie where everyone's got a bit of drama with them. And the characters will have like really unrealistic conversations where they just vomit exposition. So like, there's a point where a guy who Robert Downey Jr.'s dad sentenced to like prison has recently gotten out, and somebody has killed him and run him over. And the judge's car has a bunch of blood and hair on it, and it is dented. Oh, sorry. Initially, he goes home. Robert Downey Jr. goes home because his mom dies, so he goes home for the funeral. And while he's there for the funeral, him and his dad get into a bunch of fights and arguments, and the brother, they all get into a bunch of fights and arguments because the dad is mad at Robert Downey Jr. because when Robert Downey Jr. was a kid, he got into an accident that wrecked Vincent D'Onofrio's baseball career.
Baseball?
And so
he's a baseball
Robert
star.
Duvall is resentful that that Vincent D'Onofrio runs this tire shop and is not a big time baseball player. So they get into a huge fight about it, and he goes to leave, and then it turns out that the dad has been arrested under suspicion of hitting this guy with his car. And so then the rest of the movie is Robert Downey Jr. It's a courtroom drama of Robert Downey Jr. defending the dad in trial, in court. And you find out that the dad is dying of cancer, and that the cancer treatment is causing him to have memory loss, lapses in memory. And so he isn't sure whether or not he did, but prior to it happening, the guy insulted his wife. So he's like, it's possible I did, but I don't have the memory. Like, I don't have a memory of it happening. And Robert Downey Jr. is the kind of shitty defense lawyer where he's like, it doesn't matter if you're innocent or not. I just need to provide reasonable doubt.
I just need to make them think that it's possible that you didn't do it.
Exactly. I don't need to prove that you're innocent. I just need to make them question not whether you're not. And everyone's good in this. Like the Robert Downey Jr. has a little daughter who he's great with. Vincent D'Onofrio might be the MVP of this. Robert Duvall's great. The ending is schmaltzy and sappy. Obviously, the dad eventually, big spoiler alert, but the dad dies, and there's a big sappy scene at the end where him and Robert Downey Jr. go fishing, and the dad dies on the lake. That's very sad, very emotional, and like, yeah, as a guy who loves father-son stories, it got me right in my heart. It's manipulative. It's that kind of. It's the kind of movie where like it's making me feel feelings. But that's because the music and the acting. Like again, every person in this
It knows
movie,
exactly what it's
it
doing.
knows the kind of movie it's in. They all showed up to do like I'm like, oh, this is a particular performance. Until you remember, I'm pretty sure, it's Robert Downey Jr. was on a show called Ally McBeal for like many seasons, and I'm pretty sure he played a lawyer on that show. I'm pretty sure that's the plot of Ally McBeal because like the from Futurama the single female lawyer, that part.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
Ally McBeal. That's making fun of Ally McBeal. So I'm
Uh,
pretty sure he was a so like yeah, him being a lawyer, like a dramatic lawyer, is not really that much of a stretch, like acting wise. So this is not really challenging any of them acting wise, in my opinion. Like it's very much an Oscar bation. Like Robert Downey Jr. again, his production company produces this. So like he really wanted to win an Oscar, and that's what this is. This is him desperately trying to Oscar bait his way to an Oscar. Just Oscar baiting all day long for
I mean,
2 hours.
sometimes you gotta master. You gotta. Or sorry. You gotta Oscar bait, like 2 to 3 times a week. Sometimes you gotta do it 2 to 3 times a day, Justin. I mean,
Sometimes you got to Oscar bait more than once to get the job done.
you know, sometimes you just have to do it as many times as it takes.
Um, but yeah, there's just a lot of scenes of like character. Like there's one scene where it's Robert Downey Jr., Vincent D'Onofrio, Robert Duvall, and the brother all in the car, and they're just telling the backstory of the guy who the dad let go, and that's the entire point of the scene. It's just for them to have this conversation, which is just exposition about this guy's back, and then it happens multiple times where characters just stand around and have a conversation where they say stuff that they already theoretically know for no real reason other than the audience needs to know it. And yeah, it's one of those kind of movies. You really gotta suspend your disbelief. But I like it, but it's one of those I don't think it's reviewed exceptionally highly well, and I get it. I get why. It's ticking those boxes, and if you like boxes ticked, it's gonna tick them.
You either will or won't like it.
Exactly.
50% of the time, you will like it.
It works 97% of the time.
So, okay, my second half scene. I'm assuming you're done. My second half scene is Unbreakable.
Oh yeah. This is also good.
Which has. Sorry,
Oh no, so I have seen. So you have seen this before.
I have seen this before. You very specifically told me that I had to watch it. Way back in the day, you were like, "This is really good, and you'll like this."
It is really good.
And it is really
Until it's
good.
bad sequel, which makes it worse. It's one of those movies that the bad sequel makes it worse in retrospect, which is a shame.
So, I've never seen Glass. I can't speak to that.
Have you not seen
Um,
this?
you very specifically have discouraged me from watching it because you said it was bad.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay, we might that might impact next week.
Like you very specifically have talked me out of watching it
Okay.
in the past. So no, I've never seen Glass.
Okay.
I have seen
Good to know.
I have seen Split, but
I like Split.
sorry, we're getting away from the point. Unbreakable. I picked it because it has Mr. Samuel L. Jackson in it.
It does.
Nick Fury himself.
Yes, his first time
As
first super villain role as Mr. Glass. Yeah, I like this one. I like this one better than it's where it goes because I like the I don't remember if in the first one if they do say whether or not it's real or because his powers are like he's slightly stronger than a regular guy. Like they're not really.
well, no,
superpowers.
his powers are that his powers are supposed to in this one. What they set up, I should say, is that his powers, him and Mr. Glass are basically on the same scale. Mr. Glass has bones that are easily broken, whereas Bruce Willis cannot be injured. That's his powers.
Yeah, but the thing I like about this movie is it's not it to my recollection, or maybe I liked it better when I like it better when it's slightly ambiguous as to whether or not he does have superpowers, or if Samuel L. Jackson is just insane.
I think the idea is that it's supposed to be ambiguous, but and maybe this is an example of I know there's future movies and that's impacting me, but I don't see it as ambiguous.
No, not anymore. It's not.
Because he doesn't get hurt.
I don't think.
Even like he falls out of a second. No, I'm talking even in terms of the
yeah,
movie.
but again, that could be
He
chalked
falls
up
out
to,
of like he falls out of like a second story window and he doesn't get an injury.
That could be chalked up. That could be chalked up to adrenaline, luck, any number of things.
And that's where I say it's hard for me to say because I'm watching it with the power of hindsight.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to know for sure. But either way, it's at this point that I'm going to, and I'm doing this in the way of I'm looking at them as individual movies. I controversial opinion. I think Split is better than Unbreakable.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's definitely better than Unbreakable. I think it is.
I think
also, I think James McAvoy's performance is just objectively.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. His ability to play like so many different versions of himself are so good in that movie.
But that,
that just compared to this one,
I refuse to believe that started off as a thing that was attached to Unbreakable until like.
I don't think it was either.
So,
I think
fair to.
That's why I say I'm not judging these. I'm not judging the two as if they're sequels. I'm judging those two as individual movies.
Glass, on the other hand, that's different.
Yeah, well, when you read about it on the Wikipedia here, it very specifically says.
I think you should watch Glass.
It very specifically says that Unbreakable and Split are just two separate movies other than one tiny thread.
Yeah.
Whereas it says Glass is a sequel to both.
Very much.
So.
Pretty much indeed.
But no, yeah, I think this movie is very good. If you don't know what's coming,
so a lot of other superhero movies. Again, it's difficult to parse it from the fact that this exists before superhero movies are a thing. Like
this is 2000. Yeah, this is pretty sure this is before Spider-Man.
I'm pretty sure it's before X-Men. I think it's just after X-Men. It's definitely before Spider-Man. But yeah, it's before superhero movies are really getting into their swing. So like, yeah, it has a lot to say about that's kind of. This isn't a review about Split or about Glass, but yeah, that's a lot of what the problems Glass has. Is it's written by a guy who doesn't understand superheroes or didn't read superhero comics, but that's fine. We don't have a frame of reference for that. So it's like, you just seem like you don't understand superheroes or supervillains. All well.
In Glass, you mean?
Yeah.
But in this one, like I like a lot of the breakdowns that they have in this one about superheroes versus villains, and like the way that they're drawn in comic books with the eyes, and just like a lot of the things that they say about it is just interesting.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I very much enjoyed this one.
I remember the trailer. I remember the very first time I saw the trailer where it was Bruce Willis being interviewed, and they'd be like, somehow you survived. And I remember thinking it looked scary. In retrospect, I'm like, it's not scary.
It's not. I would not say this one was scary. But it has a budget of $75 million. Do you want to guess its box office?
$100 million.
Wrong. $248.1 million.
A lot of milli.
So it did pretty well. So it's not surprising that there were eventually continuations of it. The other thing that I do like about this one is I'm pretty sure what Mr. Glass has is a real thing.
Yes, it is.
And that just makes this even better.
At least a version of it is. I don't know if quite the extreme.
Osteogenesis imperfecta. I mean, it has a Wikipedia article, so.
I don't think it's quite. Maybe it might, but to my knowledge, the severity as it exists with him is not real, but the actual illness itself is.
Brittle bone disease, a group of genetic disorders that all result in bones that break easily. Yeah, I mean, it might not be quite as severe as what his is, but it is a real thing.
It is very much a real thing.
Which is cool.
pretty cool. It's pretty
I
cool.
don't have much else to. Oh, sorry, we have a comment. Is it a real comment? Paula 1966 says, "Hello, I have a question for you both. If you both like Star Wars, do you think Keanu Reeves would play a great Darth Revan from Knights of the Old Republic game?"
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think he would.
Yes, he would. He would be great. He has the physicality for it. Yes.
Um,
Yes, he
Now
would.
the question is would we get him? Because I'm pretty sure. I think Darth Revan ultimately ends up wearing like having a Darth Vader esque mask.
Yes. Imagine that with John
Um,
Wick hair. I'm just saying it would look sick.
I think it would be a lot of fun. Either way, I'm down for having more stuff from the Old Republic
I mean, yeah. And Keanu Reeves.
and Keanu Reeves.
With
I
Dave
like Keanu
Filoni in
Reeves stuff.
charge, that will definitely happen because, as previously discussed, Dave Filoni, like, thing you recognize. Hey, I recognize that thing.
Because I mean, so far I think the only canon, quote unquote canon or modern thing that we have that has Darth Revan is that Star Wars show, Rebuild the Universe,
It's true.
where he shows up. But yeah, sorry, that's Unbreakable, and it's good and it's fun, and more people should watch it.
Excellent. My first have not seen is this is going to be kind of tough. Okay, actually, I'm going to have to pull open the Wikipedia article for this, Jordan, because this premise was weirdly complicated. This is Chaos Walking, starring Spider-Man himself, Tom Holland, and it also has. I just realized. Pretty sure it also has Mads Mikkelsen in it as well. It does have Mads Mikkelsen in it. Mads Mikkelsen is what's his name? Caecilius from Doctor Strange.
I serious.
Caecilius, the bad guy from the first Doctor Strange.
Oh, yeah.
And for Star Wars bonus, it's got Daisy Ridley, and a Wicked bonus, it's got Cynthia Erivo, and Jonas Brothers, it's got Nick Jonas.
Okay.
This takes place. So number one, this is based on a young adult novel, and so this is one of those. It really wants to be Hunger Games. Like it wants to be a franchise, and so this is based off of 3 books. It's one of those children's YA novels where the main character is a kid, but they have had him played by Tom Holland. So honestly, this reminded me a lot of his Dark Materials. So a lot of the major plot points of this involve the fact that it is a 13-year-old kid going through puberty. So all of the major plot points no longer work in the movie. And I only know the way they're supposed to work because I read the Wikipedia article. So the premise of this takes place in a universe where humans have gone off to colonize different planets. And they have landed on this planet that gives basically it gives the men a condition they call noise, which basically makes it so you can see the movie says it's what the guys are thinking, but like it differentiates depending on the need of the scene. So in some cases, like they can control it. So like there's a point where like they captured the girl and they all used their noise and turned it into a wall. There's a point where like Tom Holland turns his into people, and there's a point where like he's seeing, like she can see his memories, but then it's points where it's saying his intrusive thoughts. So there's scenes where he's like by himself in a forest, and it just kind of sounds like he's mumbling to himself, but it makes a lot of the dialogue in the scenes bad because it just kind of sounds like he's mumbling while he's trying to say dialogue. So he lives in this village of all men, and the setup is that this whatever this illness is that has given him these thoughts killed the women. It comes from the natives of this planet that they're colonizing, and they killed all the women. They're called the Spackle. Killed all the female colonists. And Tom Holland inadvertently finds Daisy Ridley, and
Ray.
Ray, she has crash landed on. She is from another ship, a colonizing ship, and has crash landed on Earth, and he helps her. And
Well, that was nice of him.
a lot of the movie is just a really dull walking through the forest, not very interesting. The performances are kind of flat and really boring. Tom Holland is boring. Daisy Ridley is boring. Their conversations are boring. They walk through the woods until you find out. Oh yeah, he's from.
And along the way, they fall in love with each other.
That's kind of what it's implied, but it's the kind of thing where, again, in the book, he's 13, so it's like, no, they're just friends. But in the movie, because they're both adults, it reads as romantic, kind of like his Dark Materials, where it read romantic way earlier than it should because they're older. And so the big twist of this is Tom Holland is from a place called Prentice Town, and it turns out that no, this thing doesn't affect women at all, didn't kill them at all, and the guys in Prentice Town, because of the priest who's there, they all went crazy and just killed all the women. And in the book that this movie is based on, the idea is that it's an entire village of men, and the insanity caused by the noise solidifies when you're an adult, and part of a rite of passage is doing a murder, and doing a murder solidifies that. But because he's just an adult in this, they cut the entire point of the noise out and completely change what it means in order to facilitate really dull looking bland action sequences that are not interesting. And but this is based on 2 more books, so the entire time I'm like, Tom Holland, why do you so desperately want to be in franchises that nobody wants to watch? Like, it's Uncharted, it's Onward. Like, he's in all these franchises that just bomb, that nobody goes to other than Spider-Man. He's just cursed to be Spider-Man till the end of his days.
Or until he's too old to be Spider-Man.
But yeah, a lot of it has to do with like puberty and id, and just like the idea that it's like projecting your inner id. It really reminded me of his Dark Materials. That's it.
Is that a bad thing?
In this context, I guess not, but that was definitely a better version. This was just boring. It was boring. Like, there just wasn't... The visuals were bland and sepia tone and gray and just not very interesting.
This was live action?
Yeah. The only reason why...
Yeah. It probably would have been better if it was animated.
Maybe. I've only heard of it because YouTube, they really pushed it on YouTube for a while. It was like on every pre-roll video, a trailer for this. Or like a 30-second ad spot. I've seen... I knew that Daisy Ridley and Tom Holland were in a movie together randomly for some reason. Anyway, that's Chaos Walking. Chaos
Walking. I'm walking here. Okay, so my first have not seen is
work out perfectly.
Men in Black International, which has Chris Hemsworth.
Was I right?
Who is Thor?
Are you going to say that all the Men in Black movies are of relative quality?
It has Chris Hemsworth, who is Thor. It has Tessa Thompson, who is Valkyrie. And it has Kumail Nanjiani,
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
who was in Immortals, I believe.
He likes to remind
Eternals?
everyone that he was in the Eternals.
That was it. He was also in What If, and he was in Obi-Wan.
Yeah, he's Kingo in the Eternals. That's why he's in What If. He was Kingo.
And he was in the Obi-Wan show.
Yes, he was also in the Obi-Wan show.
So I get 2 points for him.
I mean, no, you get 1.
I get 2 points for him
1 point
because he
per
was
actor.
in. I get 1 point for, or 2 points for him because he was in both Star Wars and
It's
Marvel.
per actor, not per thing.
I get 2 points for him. So Men in Black International. Basically, they saw Men in Black. They were like, you know what? We don't need Tommy Lee Jones or Will
Has Liam
Smith.
Neeson not been in a Marvel thing? I guess not.
No, I don't believe so.
Huh. Because he's also in it.
So, yeah, I know he is, but I'm pretty sure he was not.
Anyway.
I can't confirm or deny it off the top of my head, but the fact that I feel like if he was in something, we would be able to think of it. Anyways,
Let's find out.
Men in Black International. Basically, they were like, man, this is a franchisable thing, and we don't really need Will Smith and Tommy Lee
Let's see
Jones
if
to
we can do
do
this
it.
without Will Smith and Tommy
Let's
Lee
just see if
Jones.
we can do it without them. It's an organization. We can just have it follow other agents
Fun
at
fact,
a
it did
different
not work
location
without them.
on a different part of the planet. And as I understand it, it did not work without
It did
them.
not work without them. No.
Now, I don't agree with that. Just from a I'm the one who watched it
Yeah.
perspective.
I thought it was fine. It was
I thought it was fine. I thought that it was Men in Black. It
But
felt like Men in
to be
Black.
fair,
It
after the
still
first
has
one,
it still has the same energy of Men in Black.
that's what I'm
Um
saying.
and
They are of relative quality, I maintain
you
it.
still have you still have one black actor who's paired with one white actor. So I mean, what's the difference?
What's the diff?
Um but no, joking aside, I liked it. I had fun with it. I mean, I didn't to me it was no worse than the third Men in Black movie.
Oh. I don't know. I think the third Man in Black movie is a better movie.
It has time travel.
Yeah, but I like
As
time
soon as you have
travel.
time travel, you're jumping the shark.
I disagree. I like time
In
travel.
a franchise, it's the third one. They were clearly running out of ideas. They did time travel.
I also yeah, there's a lot of the emotional stuff in that third one is way better. But to be fair,
Oh, I like the third one. I'm just saying,
it's only better
if
because
I'm
it's
looking
Will
at if I'm
Smith.
looking at this, yeah, well, that's just it. If I'm looking at this critically, I think that this one, in terms of quality, is at least as good as the third one.
Also, Jordan, technically speaking, the third one is the one where they went, "Can we do this without Tommy Lee Jones?" This is the one where they're like, "Can we do it without Will Smith?" And they could do it without Tommy Lee Jones. They cannot do it without Will Smith.
I mean, clearly, the audience doesn't necessarily agree
Oh,
with
I
you
cannot watch Men in Black
because
3.
because it has a budget of between. Can you? Oh yeah, Tommy Lee Jones is in. He's in Captain
Oh
America.
yeah, I was thinking Josh Brolin. Josh Brolin is Thanos.
Oh yeah, him too. So doubly so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, it had a budget of between 94 to 110 million, and it had a box office of 253.9 million.
Yeah.
So it didn't do terribly,
No.
but it also didn't like break any records or anything.
No.
It was fine. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I think it's just as good as the other ones. I don't know. Maybe I'm the weird one.
I think the first one's the best one, and then they are diminishing quality after that.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
The second
I
one's
think
just
that's
the
a
first one over again, and then the third one is all right, and then I don't know.
like I'm not gonna say that I don't like the third one because I do like the third one. I like Boris the animal. Like the stop looking at it. Like,
Mom,
I
stop
think Boris.
staring at it.
I think honestly, I think Boris the animal steals that movie.
He really does, but that's because Jermaine Clement is always good in everything.
Um,
A good plan didn't work.
Good plan didn't work. I really like that one, but I'm not gonna sit here and say I didn't have a good time with this one. Although pretty much right from the beginning, as soon as I saw Liam Neeson, I was like, he's gonna be evil.
It's gonna be Liam Neeson.
And sure enough, when you find out that the Hive took him over, and he's no longer Liam Neeson, I was like, I mean, he's Liam Neeson.
Immediately suspicious.
He was immediately suspicious. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the accent. I don't know if it's just that he's Liam Neeson. But I called it pretty much. I mean, you were there. You heard me call it.
Yeah. You did call it. You did call it.
And
Liam Neeson.
that button notes real nicely so that you and I can talk about Tron Ares and wrap this up.
Yeah. So we both watched Tron Ares, and we just figured we'd share our last thing. And man.
So.
Okay.
Okay.
Number
So
one.
I have a lot. I have a few thoughts here. Number one, it's not good.
No, it's bad. It's really
It's
bad.
just
It's
it's
genuinely
just
terrible. Ares is a great
disappointingly.
character until his helmet pulls away and it's Jared Leto. You're
I
like,
can get. I
oh,
can. So no. Okay. See, funny enough, I think Jared Leto is like one of the only good things in
it's
this movie.
terrible. And all of his they midway through the movie just decide that this character is sassy, so he's just sassy for the rest. Like he goes through what a character arc that I would describe as weird and unearned for this character who's just been interjected into the
So
third movie.
a
Like
big
my
part of
big thing is, hold on, let me finish this thought. My big thing is I wish he was Tron.
yeah, yeah.
I think I
I
think if they
agree
had
with
done a
that.
twist,
Or even if they had done a thing where like, okay, let's say like, okay, we're gonna do it this way. You're stuck with Jared Leto,
oh, okay,
right? Okay, you're stuck with him. You have to use him in some regard. The one way that it would have worked for me is if Dillinger had copied Tron
yes,
Rizzler,
yeah,
specifically Rizzler,
that was my idea too.
from that network, and like twisted him and changed him and did whatever
Yeah,
rewriting of his code, and that's why he looks like Jared Leto.
yeah, well, yeah, that's what I was expecting because okay, this is gonna be one of those jumping around reviews because I want to talk about the post credit, which is you saw that.
Dark.
Yeah, that was, no, I don't know. It was a post credit. It was a mid credit, but yeah, he gets Dillinger gets possessed by. Oh yeah, this has Jared. It's funny because I picked this because it was like Jared Leto. He's Morbius. It's Morbin time. That's funny. And then I got into this and I went, holy shit, Evan Peters is also in this, and he's
Evan
Quicksilver.
Peters.
Evan Peters
Oh
is
yeah,
Quicksilver.
yeah, yeah. He's Quicksilver.
He's Quicksilver. Yeah.
I didn't realize he was in this.
Yeah, he's Dillinger. Um, but he gets possessed by the the Sark program at the end of the movie. So it
Oh,
felt
and
like
also, it has Greta Lee, who is in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse.
who's she?
I don't know. It just says here that she was in those.
Huh.
Oh, she was Lila.
Oh, okay. Um, this movie is two scripts that got mashed together in the writing process. It has a bunch of what was definitely sequel ideas for the third Tron movie that definitely involved the Garrett Hedlund character and Olivia Munn and Jeff Bridges. Or maybe not Jeff Bridges, but definitely those two characters because the Asian chick who is just in this for some reason, she just
Yeah,
took
I
over
couldn't
for the
figure
guy.
out who
There's
she is.
there's
Like,
no explanation given to who she is or what her connection is to the Flynn
or if
family,
there is, it's in a blink and you miss it
or why
thing.
she
Like, I don't.
they sort of exposition vomit a bunch of shit at the beginning of the movie, but it never really. The movie says that both of them take over. But then
But
says
then
that
the
she
sister's
does.
dead.
But the sister's dead. But we don't get to know the sister enough for it to really hit or impact. So it just feels like the sister that dies was supposed to be the Olivia Munn character, and she was gonna die, and it was gonna be Garrett Hedlund, and he was gonna
See,
be, and that's why he was looking for permanence because she was impermanent. That's what
see,
that's what it felt like the point was.
what it
And
what it what it felt like to me is it feels like in a version of the script, some version of the script. The who is she? Greta Lee character, the Asian character. It feels like she was going to be a daughter of Sam Flynn
no, see, I don't think
and
so.
and the robot character. Yes, because that's what it comes across to me. Because at the end, when Ares is like, I have to go and find them, he's like, he has a picture of them, and then like he looks immediately at a picture of the two sisters, as if there's supposed to be like a connection between the
No,
two.
I think okay, no, again, I think there's two versions of this script. I think that all of the stuff involving the Asian character was Sam, like just full war, and I think that Ares was Tron, and I think that's where that Sark possessing him at the end shit comes from. I think it comes from the previous version of that script, and I think the Jared Leto AI stuff, and I think the Asian chick are from a different movie. I think that Jared Leto had I think what this was I think this was a Jared Leto vehicle about him being an AI that becomes smart. I think that this was malformed into a Tron thing and had Tron, because so much of this as a sequel to Tron Legacy doesn't make any fucking sense. So because the grid, this treats the grid as if it's this sort of nebulous space in which all of these different systems occupy. So the Dillinger system, the system from Tron Legacy, and the system from the original movie are all different systems that seemingly all exist within the grid.
Well, see, that's where I interpreted it like
the grid was made by Flynn in the second movie. He created the grid.
What I was gonna say is I interpreted it as the grid is just movie speak for whatever computer they're on is the grid. So like they keep referring to Dillinger system as the grid because that's their home. It's the grid.
Right, but the grid,
and then the one from the second from Legacy is that computer's internal world grid.
I googled this because no, the system in they don't call it. I'm pretty sure they don't call it the grid in the original one, but also, to be fair, the system in the second movie is based on the original system. He took the original code and made the new system. But this all seemingly sort of seems, yeah. But again, it's not explained well. Like,
no, it's not. It's not at all
explained well. But that's there's not to say it's devoid of shit that I liked. Like, yeah, you're right. I didn't totally hate Jared Leto.
He's not to me. He's not the worst part of this movie.
No, but he's still bad. He's still bad though.
But for me, what makes his character bad is stuff surrounding him.
Like
so like him being like a program that was on Dillinger's system that becomes good is not a bad.
I don't have an issue with. No, I don't have an issue with that. That's not for me. It's all in the,
and it's not even necessarily some of his acting choices that I don't like. I don't mind them, but it's just there's certain little things that with him.
Like, he starts off like a hyper serious character, and just nowhere in the middle of the movie, out of nowhere, like he's now sassy, and he's like, "Where the fuck did this come from?" Like the scene between between him and Flynn feels like he was supposed to be Tron.
Oh, absolutely, it does. And that's where
still surprised me. What do you mean still? You just met him like 5 minutes ago.
That's where real. That's where I say, that's why I say my issues with Jared Leto in this movie aren't really. I don't view them as his fault necessarily. I view them as bad writing.
I would maybe be if they. But it feels like that was supposed to be the twist, because they do.
If they had gone a route where he was Tron and he was like a warped version of Tron,
I swear he was.
I fully believe that he was,
because it feels like there's a scene missing, because he comes back after he gets the code. He comes back and now he looks like one of the Tron system people. Like he has the white look now, and so it felt like that was supposed to be the moment where you found out that he was Tron.
And he returns back to Tron or whatever.
Yeah, and like he's like and that or maybe like he melded his code with Tron. It's just weird that Tron is not involved in this in any capacity. Again, it feels. Why are we
still calling it Tron?
Right, it feels like it was a different. Because the aesthetic, I guess. But it
feels I know, but
it feels it feels like this was a different movie. This was a different Jared Leto vehicle that got malformed and written into it. But there's not to say that
ultimately I think
though, man, like some of the shit looks cool.
Ultimately, I think what I would say is what happened. I would say probably is yes. I think they had another idea for Jared Leto, basically another project where he was an AI who became smart, world. Yada yada yada, whatever. Right? Like that was, I think, the idea, and I think they wanted I don't remember the actor's name, but Sam Flynn
Yeah,
from Legacy.
Gary Harrison.
They wanted him and the girl.
I
The
think so.
story was going
It's
to be about them. It was going to follow them, and they didn't want to come
it's
back.
bizarre.
And
It's bizarre that the movie ends
they
with a setup.
pivoted and they merged the two together at that point.
Yeah,
Another thing that I can't stand, and this is just a visual thing that I don't like. I don't like that their discs turn into triangles.
really, I like that. I like that. I
Don't like
like
it.
it. I like it because it set them apart as being the part of the problem is there isn't enough of them on the regular Flynn grid because I liked that it made them different from the Flynn grid people where instead of being circles
Yeah, and
there's our
well,
triangles like
like
that's a
that could
cool
have been an
aesthetic but
interesting thing.
they don't do enough with the contrasting the two systems like they don't do it
And
because
then
half of the
this is
movie
where I
takes place in
say
the real world which is
this
not
is
what
where I
Tron is
say
about.
like if they had done if they like they could have done things slightly different and it would have fixed like some of the issues where like when he was breaking into the encom system for example, why didn't they have like a version of Tron as the defender that shows up to stop him where they get into like a battle or whatever, they start talking, and that's where he starts changing.
Yeah,
His interaction with with Tron is what starts shifting his mind, and that's when
it's like you don't even have
Ares
to.
starts becoming different. Like there's things that they could have done which would have made it make more
I
sense.
also don't like, and I understand this is kind of how it worked in but the one to one of like showing him type the code and then you see it play out and I don't know, that didn't work for me. Like, cause that's like
What
I
do you mean?
prefer like when they were showing Dillinger do the programming and then it would like him hacking in and it showed them like literally breaking in as though it were a heist.
Oh,
That
I
really
see.
like I didn't like
No,
that
yeah,
one to one.
that's not Tron.
That's not really
That's
how
not.
Tron works. That's why I'm saying
No.
I'm pretty positive they had the evil CEO, which is Evan Peters. They had Jared Leto Tron. They had her. They had the fact that they were rival CEOs, and then they had the idea of bringing shit from the because bringing shit from the Tron world has never been a thing in this. It's always about going into the computer. It's never been
That's
about
not
coming out.
inherently true, because in Tron Legacy, Clue was all about getting out into the real
But it's
world.
never been
So
about being out.
they're being a logical progression of, oh, now the Tron stuff is going to come to the real world. To me, that was always in the cards,
Um,
because like,
but
yeah, you had in Legacy you had Clue who wanted to come to the real world, and then the movie ends with
yeah,
Quora coming to the
for the
real
skip
world.
from it's hard. That was really hard and impossible to now. Like I swear that this was it started off with the idea of bringing the digital things to the real world, and somebody in a writer's room went, "Holy shit, we can do this with Tron." Imagine this with Tron. And to the movie's credit, this is where I'm going to say the nice things when the Tron stuff does come to the real world, it looks fucking sick.
Oh, it looks cool.
Like when it's driving through the like some of the effects with the light cycles look sick. Like it's not all CGI. Like there's a really cool shot of the camera on the light cycle, and they've clearly got this rig where the camera's around her chest and it's getting the close up on on their face.
Yeah.
They do it a couple times. They do it when they're diving, and it looks like they actually had them dive in a green screen room, and it actually looks like they're actually physically diving instead of just CGI. A lot of the light cycle stuff looks like they're actually on a physical light cycle. Like it looks cool, and yeah, no, they the chase sequence where it's taking out the light cycles are taking out cars and getting one of the big, I don't know what they're called, but the big Megatron looking things. Like
Yeah,
seeing a
yeah.
big one of those fly through a city. It's sweet. And yeah, when he first creates Ares and you see Ares training, taking out all the guys, and yeah, the insurgency into the NCOM system, that sequence is cool. Like that's fun.
My one thing though, and it kind of just is proved as the movie goes on, is like, okay, if the idea is that these things are supposed to be like immortal soldiers that you can just keep printing, I don't really see. They last 30 minutes. You can get a lot done in 30
That's what
minutes.
I'm saying. Why do you need them to stick around for a
Especially
long
because
time?
like there doesn't seem to be like a time down of like, okay, I can't print another one for like 12 hours or like
No,
something like
she
they pretty
reprints herself pretty
immediately.
immediately. Yeah.
So I'm just not seeing the
No,
need, the
they never
necessity,
specify like, oh, you can only reprint so many times, or there's only so much
or
material to
like it's
print these
super
things, or
expensive or something,
how the
or
reprinting itself works. That's where I'm saying like all that shit, all the reprinting and stuff. That feels like from a completely different screenplay. And yeah, the minute they show Jared Leto's face, Jared Leto can no longer do any of the action sequences. So it like when his face is hidden and the stunt guy can do cool looking choreography, Ares is a cool character. But the minute you can see his face and it's like however 40, 50-year-old Jared Leto who can barely run in the armor. Also, like once he turns into regular Tron, how does that work? Can he just take the Tron armor off, and does he just store it
I
in
mean,
his closet?
clearly he does, because at the end of the movie he's not wearing it anymore,
And yeah,
and he's just living as a human.
I hate the fact that this is the third one, and it sets up like
Another one.
it sets up it arrogantly sets up another one, which is probably not going to get because this bombed horribly.
Oh, this did terribly.
And
Had a very high budget and not a very good return.
It ends with him being like, I'm going to meet the characters from the last one. And you're like, this is so lame. This is so
I'm just like,
why were they not
why were they not in this one?
Yeah, why weren't they in this one? Like, why do you need to find them? And what conflict could they, I guess, to fight Sark, maybe?
I guess, yeah.
Like, to me, I guess the next evolution of this is he fuses with Sark and then he can summon things in the real world, I guess, is maybe the next evolution of this. I don't know. I don't know what you possibly continue on with this. But, like, yeah,
So,
I'm not saying Jared Leto ruins this. And I'm not saying this is...
Sorry, I have to interrupt you. My phone is at 5%.
Okay.
I'm going to have to switch over.
Okay. That'll allow me time to wrap up my final thoughts unless you have more thoughts.
No, that's it for me.
Where was I? Yeah, I'm not going to say Jared Leto ruined this, because I don't think he ruined this. I agree with Jordan. I don't think he's the worst part. I mean, I don't know. It's hard, because, like, yeah, there's not stuff devoid, like, it's not devoid of stuff to like visually. The soundtrack, we also didn't talk about the soundtrack. The soundtrack is quite good. Nine Inch Nails does quite good. It really reminded me of Tron Legacy. The aesthetic is still fun.
There we go.
But, like, I don't know. It's just not as good as the last one.
No, it's not. I'm not even gonna try and pretend that it's just not.
It's just not.
It's just a lot of that. I mean, and we didn't even talk about the what's his name cameo, where it's not even the real him. It's just like the ghost of a memory of
him. Yeah, but he has weird levels of knowledge that he shouldn't, and their conversation. Yeah.
And even though he's an immortal computer being, he's still older.
Yeah, exactly.
He's still aging for some reason.
Like I say, if they had made the reveal at the end had been that he was a reconstituted program, even if I'm stuck with Jared Leto, that little tweak but again, it felt like that was a plot line, that was a storyline that was in this that they cut.
Yeah, it does. It absolutely does. It very much feels well, especially because like at the end of the last one, it's like, I fight for the users. He's still like evil technically at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, to have it where Dillinger or something, before he left Encom, he snuck on the server and he stole as much as he could, and he stole their version of Tron and brought it over to his own system. It writes itself.
Well, yeah,
it infinitely makes more sense.
And there's also just a lot of like my other again evidence for this used to be a different script was Encom has never been the good guy. Like the fact that Encom is the good guy in this one, in this movie.
Well, it is. It's supposed to be when it's under Flynn.
This movie postulates the idea that that the Dillinger Company has also been like a rival evil bad guy the whole time, and it just hasn't. They've not been a rival bad guy the whole time.
Well, the idea is that he was supposed to have left Encom and then he formed his own company.
Yeah, dumb. It's dumb.
So it's not that they were around. They were around the entire time. It's just they used to be at
No, but I mean
NCOM.
from like a story standpoint, they have not been.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
But this, yeah, they
He,
like.
his grandfather or whatever was the bad guy from the first
No,
Tron.
I
He
know. But
was
no,
Dillinger.
what I'm saying is like it's pretending like they were like a major villain in the last one when they just weren't.
No, and not in the last one, but he was there.
I mean, technically speaking, the
In the beginning
character,
of it, his character was there in the beginning.
technically
Not
speaking,
necessarily this character, but like the Dillinger character
yeah,
was in.
yeah, he's played in the yeah. There's a he's there in an uncredited cameo played by Cillian Murphy. He is technically in the last
Yeah,
one. Yeah, you're not wrong.
yeah. So he
Um,
has been a character. It's just he
he,
didn't have as much of a presence
it
in the
wasn't
last one as
it
he.
wasn't stated. Like I don't know, maybe if there was a
Yeah.
line in the last one about how like Dillinger Co was trying to like get us, maybe I'd be like, oh yeah, they've always been a presence, but this wants to pretend like they've been way more of a they've had way more of a tete-a-tete than I think they have in this franchise.
Well, it's because what like this one is trying to more so than the last one. I would say this one is very much trying to call back to the original, like to the point where they go.
That is true.
Ares goes onto the original server, and and that's one thing that I will give this movie
That was
credit
cool. That
for.
was a cool moment.
When he goes on to it and
That
it's in the classic style and
that
it
was
looks
cool.
like the original movie,
Yeah,
that's a nice touch.
that was
Like
really cool.
I appreciate that.
I
He uses the light cycle and it looks like it does in the original
my other
movie.
thing is, I'm pretty sure in Tron Legacy, they knew that he was going into the computer, didn't they?
They who they?
Like the company, like they knew that he was going onto the grid.
Uh, I don't think so. I think what's his name? The guy who Tron was based off. I think he did, but I don't think the board of directors did.
This is where it's been just long enough that I don't, because I'm pretty sure in the well, I guess maybe it's interpretable that because they show this
Like yeah, he shows a whole
speech
speech about how the digital frontier and all that, but that's not like
we're gonna
he's
go
not
in,
literally saying like I'm going on to the network at that
but
point.
yeah, well, I think I guess maybe the idea is meant to be interpretable because I remember he has where he's like we're gonna go in there, and then eventually, and they use the bit of it in this movie, they're gonna come out here. So I always assumed that the idea that the programs were actually people, that like the world knew that.
Clearly not,
Yeah,
because
clearly
in this
not.
one it blows her fucking mind.
But
So
yeah, my biggest this movie just feels like whoever wrote it didn't watch Tron Legacy.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
did not watch Tron
Feels
Legacy.
it feels like they watched like the first half an hour of the original Tron and then read the cliff notes about
Yeah,
the rest of
this
it.
again. This was a Jared Leto vehicle where he was AI. They watched the first 30 minutes of the original Tron and tacked some Tron shit onto the script.
It's just it's if I had to use
Had maybe a
if
loose outline on what they had ideas for a sequel.
if if I had to sum up this movie with one word, it would be disappointing.
I think my thing is like I think it would be a better movie if you okay.
If you had to, okay, if you had to sum it up with one word, would it also be disappointing?
No, it would be. What's a single word to say exactly what I expected? As bad as I expected. Mitigated.
So you're not disappointed?
No. Mostly just because it's exactly what I thought it was gonna be. There's
Yeah,
so
and
many.
yeah, and that's disappointing.
Yeah, but I assumed it. No, because I assumed it was gonna be bad. So like I didn't go into it with high hopes, so it didn't disappoint anything.
I didn't go into it with high hopes either. I'm disappointed it's as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Oh, okay. Then
It's disappointing.
maybe in that regard, maybe. But no, I'm not disappointed. I don't feel disappointed by it because I didn't have any expectations for it. Perhaps if I was expecting it to be good.
I feel disappointment towards it because I like Tron Legacy and it's not even half as good as
My
that.
feelings might be different had we watched it in theaters.
Oh, my theaters would have been intensified if we had watched it in
Yeah,
theaters.
I think I might have felt more let down if I had watched the one trailer where I was like, oh, this looks cool, had heard nothing, and then had watched this on like opening weekend, then yeah, I maybe would feel disappointment. But I'd heard this got a comedic drubbing people equated this to Morbius, and the minute you do that, there's nothing that can disappoint me. And no, like some of the visuals were cool. Like some of the action sequences were like legitimately cool. And here's my question: if you stripped Tron away from this, it's the exact same movie. You change all of the aesthetics so it doesn't look like Tron, but it has a Tron-like aesthetic, but it doesn't look exactly like Tron, and it's the same movie. Is this better received? Because some of those visuals are cool, but I guess they only work because it's Tron. Because it's a light cycle in a city. If it's not a light cycle, then it doesn't work.
Okay. I have two thoughts in regards to that. My first thought is no, because it has Jared Leto.
Yeah.
My second thought is if it doesn't have Jared Leto and you have another actor and it's all the same otherwise, yes.
Yeah.
I think it would. Yes, like story-wise. I think Jared Leto has he has that bad of a reputation that I think it drags this movie down as a result.
It's really distracting.
Just based on name power.
He has a monologue at the end of the movie that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Like his monologue at the end it's the kind of movie where I wish it was worse. I wish it was worse. I wish it was laughably worse. I wish it was Madam Web so that I could sit here and eviscerate it. But it's just a middling.
Yeah, well, that's where I say with the movie we got and the fact that it is connected to Tron and all of this, I don't think Jared Leto is the exclusive thing that makes this bad.
No, not the exclusive thing. There's a lot of writing shit in this that made me go, what?
Like I have to be fair to him. I'm not going to exclusively lay the failure of this movie at his feet.
This is not the Tron 3 we should have gotten, is what I would say.
No, yeah. Like, I think he ultimately did the best he could with what he was handed.
Yeah. Like, I think if we had gotten Tron 3 and it had Garrett Hedlund and it had come out like 2 to 3 years after Tron Legacy and it was like made by the same creative team, all right. But again, there's a lot of I guess maybe I would take if I could take some of the action sequences out of this and put it in a better movie.
Oh, and as for why it could never be Sam Flynn in this and why it had to be the Asian girl, it's because when the robots come to the real world and are trying to hunt down the person who has the thing that they need so that they can become real boys, you can't have a person who's already been on the network, knows everything about how to fight them, and is competent. You have to have a person who has never dealt with them before.
But that's my point.
And is completely unexperienced.
But that's my point. That's why I could tell that he was in this, is because yes, that's what makes you could tell that the idea behind Ares and his squad is that they're supposed to be isolated and crazy, and they're supposed to be different. But they don't read that way because they just kind of look like red versions of the regular Tron ones. And so if Garrett Hedlund is there and they need to extract the thing from his brain, because he's got more information than she does about the grid and whatever, and he can't stop them, that makes them extra threatening without having to tell you that they're extra threatening, because he has the experience of being in a disc fight, right? So it increases their threat level rather than having what is ostensibly a damsel in distress.
Yeah, plus I would say that it's also better if it's the dude, because then it feels more like Ares and him are like more akin to how in the original Jeff Bridges and Tron are friends.
Yeah.
Like it would feel more like that and less like Ares, or less like Asian president wants to bang Ares.
Yeah. That's a very weird reading at the end. You're absolutely right. It does read that way, and it's weird. And it's strange. Again, all of his interactions with her are weird. He oversteps, like he goes from being from being too well informed too quickly. His arc is too steep too fast in a way that it doesn't feel organic. But then you're kind of like, well, but he's an AI and he's a machine. Yeah, his transcension to being human But if you're like, oh, that's because he was Tron the whole time, that's what I'm saying. I'm positive he was probably Tron at one point.
Oh,
The choice was
I
going
fully
to be
believe
he was
that.
Tron. That like you said, that what's his face stole the code from to build, like, basically in order to create these things he had to borrow the code, and the code he borrowed was Tron's code. Like, you could tell that was gonna be a twist. That's why when he comes out he's wearing the different armor. You can tell it's how the material reads.
And it also just explains why their discs look different is because he's altered the code, so now they're more Dillinger-like, right? Like it's just, absolutely it
Right,
does,
like
and that's ultimately what frustrates me and what disappoints me about this movie is, I can see the skeleton for a better movie.
or if you're like, oh, he has his own private server where Ares and because he was like, oh, this is the entire system for the entire company that he's created this experimental software on. That so it felt like and it was weird that his version of the grid looked like the version of the grid from Tron 2, which is supposed to be secret. So if they were like, oh yeah, he borrowed this from MCOM and that's why his looks like MCOM. Okay, like I say, it feels like there were scenes and there was bits that were cut out. Like maybe it's again because I've been doing this for so long, but like I'm at that point where I can see a bad script, or I can see a script that got torn apart.
It feels like it needed like one or two more passes, and it would have
Definitely.
been a more solid movie.
But also, and this is how I think I'm gonna wrap it up, is it's not as bad as everyone says it is. I think that's what you were kind of getting at, where you're like, it's not as bad. It's not
Yeah,
as bad as everyone says it is.
it's not like
It's
the
not
worst
Morbius.
movie ever. It's not like, no. And well, my thing is that like what the consensus that I was seeing on the internet, and the thing that I was hearing a lot of, and this is what my final thoughts and where I wanna wrap this on is, what I was seeing was this is bad because of Jared Leto. Like Jared Leto somehow single-handedly ruins this movie,
I mean, he does
and
a
he is
little bit.
exclusive. He is exclusive. No, but like people are saying, he is exclusively why this movie is bad, and that I don't agree with. I don't think this movie is exclusively bad because of Jared Leto. I think if he had been given a better script with better reasoning, with better choice, like I think he could, like, you could give him a fair shot. He could have been like put out a
Maybe.
better product, but he was handed garbage,
Yeah, maybe.
right? Like that's the thing.
But no, I mean, my Tron balloon.
We'll never know if there could have been a better version of this with him, because what he was given with the writing didn't allow for it.
My thing is, it will always be that first trailer where like, oh yeah, the movie's exactly like that. First 15 minutes, like, all right, this is pretty cool, this is pretty excellent, and then he walks out and the helmet opens and it's Jared Leto, and you're like, oh, like that's how this movie feels. That's like 90% of what this movie feels like, where you're like, oh, that's it in a nutshell. But I don't think it's as bad as everyone says it is. That's Tron Legacy,
Yeah,
not Tron
I mean
Legacy.
that's Tron Ares.
Tron Ares. That's Tron Ares. And you're probably all wondering, what are we gonna do next week? And I had an idea. Nah, you know what? I think I'm gonna save that one. Next week, I think we're gonna do cute animals.
Cute animals.
We're gonna do cute animals. Cute
Like
animal movies.
they're the main characters, or it's a movie that has a cute animal.
As long as a cute animal is involved in some capacity.
So for example, I'm not picking this, but just for example, Moana has a cute pig, but it's not about the cute pig.
I think it kind of has to sort of have to do something to do. The animal has to inform the plot in some way.
Okay, so like Babe.
So just for example, I'm probably gonna do Home on the Range, and I'm probably gonna do Penguins of Madagascar.
All right, that's a choice. All
Those are
right,
the two.
I have a few ideas.
But that's next week. In the meantime, Jordan, where can the people find you?
I do Minecraft Monday on Twitch, Zethgore187. I do it every Monday, and on the weekends, usually Sunday, I'm here
He does it every
doing
Monday.
this
It's the best.
with this fuck.
It's the best. It's the best stream with the best Minecraft. You've never seen a better Minecraft than this
The
Minecraft.
best. It's the best
Um,
stream with the best Minecraft buildings that you've ever seen.
I'm also here.
Justin, where can they find you?
They can find me on TikTok, Justin Spurr. They can find this show on TikTok, Spur of the Moment P. They can email the show. It's justinsbusiness at gmail.com. They can join the Discord, which I finally got to open, so now it's actually opening on my computer now. So they can join the Discord, and I can actually see Discord messages now. They can. There's a Patreon. Go to artemedia.org. Support Wild Education. Check me out on Down the Middle.
Think of the animals.
If right by now or at some point soon, you're gonna see boxes pop up. The left is the video last time, which was our redo of last week's episode. Because what was the point? But in last week's episode, you can't hear Jordan's conversation. So that's on the left. On the right is a random video that YouTube thinks you're going to enjoy. Just any old random video. You should hit subscribe because there's 7 videos every single week. That's 6 long form videos, 1 podcast, and several shorts. I kind of
And
fell short.
make sure you hit that bell so you get every notification.
Gotta. I fell short on my short quota this week because I got sick, but I'm feeling better, so that we're gonna back on the shorts, all sorts of shorts. Cute animals movies next week. Come back. We'll see you next week. Have a good one, everyone. Bye.